here are from CompTIA.org. Okay, these are signs that your job is making you sick. I'm going to run through these quickly, John, and then you and I are going to break this down. What is leadership doing that are creating these physical symptoms? And then what does a person do to try to treat themselves in the process of deciding, do I leave this environment? So here we go. One is insomnia. You can't sleep. A lot of this is due to work stress. Can't get your mind off of work, and you lay down at night physically and mentally and emotionally exhausted and still can't go to sleep. Another one is you sleep too much. All right? So you're sleeping too much to cope with all of the elevated adrenaline and cortisol levels. 3, you're losing weight. You can't even think about eating because you're so focused on the fight or flight mode from the work. 4, you're gaining weight. As the adrenaline and cortisol levels increase due to challenging work environment, it's not uncommon to put on weight. So I know that I'm an emotional eater. So if I had somebody, John, come at me and get all over me and a boss treat me like, just like I'm a piece of junk, I'm hitting the chips and salsa.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
So I just want people to go, hey, there's no shame in your game. Number 4, that would be me.
And when my boss calls me in and says, I just need you to know you are doing incredible work, I go celebrate with chips and salsa.
That too. I am an emotional eater. I'll have John diagnose me during the break.
No, I'm the worst.
Right. Number 5, you feel tired and unmotivated. Obviously, fatigue here. High stress too long, it's going to zap you. Number 6, you get colds more often. John, you were the first one to kind of tell me about this. I didn't realize how much stress affects our immune system.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Number 7, it takes you longer to recover from minor illnesses because of, again, all the factors we've been walking through. Number 8, you exercise less often. You have no motivation. 9, you're withdrawing socially because that unhappiness at work bleeds into your personal life. And then 10, your doctor starts to express concern, blood pressure, cholesterol levels, all physical effects as a result of a toxic environment or a horrible boss.
And I want to point out a couple things real quick. One, we often look at what our neighbor in our workplace is going through and think, I'm not going through that. This is important to point out because stress affects different people differently because of their life experiences, because of their genetics, because of trauma or not trauma. This stuff ping-pongs around,
That's right.
So it's really important to know your body. And I also think it's important to note this isn't all causal, right? This isn't this causes that, that causes that. Usually what happens is you find yourself so stressed out, like we got here on the back, you stop taking care of your diet, you quit working out, you quit hanging out with other people, you spend more time scrolling, less time sleeping, and all of a sudden these things start stacking up on you.
I agree, and I think what you just said is absolutely important for people to hear. We compound the problem. So I just wanted to briefly touch on a couple leadership things, but I want you to tell the audience, okay, what do you do? Like, how do you self-care in a situation where you can't leave right away? Because let's stress this. We never tell anybody on the Ken Coleman Show or the Ramsey Show, hey, if you're in a tough environment, just walk out today.
Yeah.
No. If you financially can, then we say yes. Right. But unless you've got the financial wherewithal and freedom to do so, you're going to have to come up with a plan. And John, I want you to talk about what they can do for self-care. But let me just identify, because I want people to understand that this isn't okay. And so when you've got a leader who is basically taking their burden and dumping it on you, and they're going, you got to do more because I can't do anything about it. And they're not shouldering the load with you. They're not going, this is for a season. This is only going to be here. Or they're not rewarding you as a part of this. You are feeling like you are nothing more than just a person who does whatever they want, whenever they need it. There's no value. And that starts to wear on people.
That's right.
That's what's driving this, is people feeling like a commodity, not a person.
Well, and they get, as our friend Jocko says, they get no ownership, yet all the responsibility, right? You don't get to decide what's going. Nobody asks your opinion. They tell you what you're going to do and how you're going to do it and when you're going to do it. And then that's a recipe for, dude, I'm going to go have some sort of autonomy and be able to speak into my own life.
So what can the audience do if they're in this situation to at least stem the tide of these negative physical things?
I think the most important thing they can do is to acknowledge this is happening.
Yeah.
Most of us don't have. It took me years to figure out and begin to connect the dots in my life that this work environment, that I have to be honest and look in the mirror, not always, But often I was allowing, or I was taking on too much because I wanted to get an extra certificate or an extra gold star. I was carrying things about my business and my industry that nobody asked me to carry, right? That's not everybody, right? That's me. You have to call it out and say, this is killing me. This is melting my marriage, or I'm not being the parent I could be because of this. You got to start there with owning, being honest. And then it sounds so trite, but all you can do in these situations is control two things on planet Earth. Your thoughts and your actions.
Yes.
That's it, my brother. That's it.
Don't be afraid to ask for help. Can we say that?
For help.
Yes.
Ask for people to help you with your thoughts. Ask for people to help you with the workout plan. Ask for people to help you with sleep. Go see a doctor. And then start asking people to walk alongside you as they help you find a new place to work.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Micah is in Washington, D.C. Hi, Micah. What's up?
Hey, Dave. Hey, George. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Hey, so a little bit about me. I'm 24. I'm currently debt-free. I make $80,000 a year. I am currently maxing out my 401k and IRA. I want to buy a car that costs $30,000. However, I don't want to get rid of my current car. It would just be a play car. It's a sports car. My question is I have $30,000 in cash that I'm prepared to pay for this car. I'm not sure if it's better to put this in a different sort of investment portfolio, or if it would be okay, to splurge and buy this car.
Oh, I see. I thought you were calling the car an investment. My face was turning inside out. Okay. So what's the car? I'm a car guy. I love gears.
So it's a Nissan 370Z.
Oh, sweet. Nice car. Okay. And what year model?
2019.
Okay. All right, cool. And what's the car you're currently driving worth?
It's $13,000.
Okay. All right. What's your income trajectory? When would you be making 90?
Potentially maybe 5 years from now.
Whoa.
So
you're going to get a $10,000 raise over 5 years?
Well, I'm projecting a promotion, and then how the military works when I move.
Oh,
and
you're
I get
in the military. Okay.
In my house. Correct.
Okay. Now I understand. Okay. Yeah, that would be more reasonable in the military. Most people are going to make a lot more in 5 years than a $10,000 raise. I'm just telling. That's why I went.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I love cars. Okay, I drove here today in my Raptor. I love big engines. I like things that make noise. I'm redneck. I want a loud muffler. All that, right? But the stupid things go down in value like a rock.
Right.
That's where Chevy got that, like a rock. Okay? They go down in value. And that includes that sweet Nissan you're talking about, and that includes my sweet Raptor. They go down in value. So if you're going to build wealth, you have to keep as small an amount as possible going into things that go down in value. So consequently, we find millionaires driving very conservative used cars until they've got substantial money. And one of the guidelines that, George, that we've developed here is to not have more than half your annual income tied up in things that have motors and wheels. So adding up all of your little toys with motors and wheels, does it add up to more than half your annual income? Because if it does, you probably got too much in things going down in value while you're trying to build wealth. Does that make sense to you mathematically?
Yeah. Yes. It'd be like $45,000 total.
Yeah, and you make 80, and so you're over half.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So, sweet car, and you got the cash. If you do it, you can do it. I mean, you can afford it, obviously, but the warning is that you're putting money in the wrong places if you want to be wealthy.
Got it.
I mean, the way you know someone's going to stay middle class is when they have two very nice cars that are obvious $500, $600, $700 payments sitting in front of a middle class house.
Exactly.
100% those people are going to stay middle class until they break that habit. It's a huge indicator.
Yeah, and the other thing to think about, Micah, is you got another set of insurance premiums to pay, more maintenance and repair. And so right now, as you're in the military, I don't know how much driving you're doing on these vehicles, but I would consider those
It's a toy.
because it is a toy. And so this is not going to crush you if you do it, but we're just saying it may not be the time.
Yeah, I as much as I completely grasp what you're doing, and you know, that's a great car. I as the guy on the radio that tells you to do things to become wealthy, I'm going to tell you don't do it. I'm going to tell you wait till later when you've got more money and you're in a better financial position to do it. You've got the money to pay cash. If you do, it's not going to bankrupt you. That is not what we're saying. We're not being melodramatic. I just wanted, when I went broke, when I was older, slightly older than you, I made the decision I'm going to do things that cause me not to be broke anymore. And I'm going to identify what broke people do. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to identify what rich people do, and I am going to do that. And you know, what we discover, Tom Stanley found it first in 1992 when he did a book called Millionaire Next Door. We discovered it again when we did the largest study of millionaires ever done in North America. 10,167 of them we interviewed. We did not find fancy cars.
It was Honda, Toyota, 4-year-old used cars, nothing that's going to turn heads at the stoplight.
You know, if they're millionaires. Now, if you're a billionaire, it's different. You can drive whatever you want to drive, right? But a billion is 1,000 million. It's a different thing.
Scales.
Yeah. Millionaires don't have that. They don't have jets. Millionaires don't have 7 cars. Millionaires don't, you know, that millionaires just have some money is all. And they have, generally speaking, conservative but reasonable lifestyles. And so we tell folks not to buy a brand new car until you have a net worth of $1 million. If you do have a car, you should sell it if it violates those things. And or if you can't get it and all your consumer debt paid off within 2 years because of the stupid car. And so if you got like a $50,000 car, you make $60,000 a year, you need to sell it, and you need to, you know, get rid of this $1,100 payment. It just choking you to death.
It loses 60% of the value in 5 years, these new cars. It's brutal.
We went through a period of time on this show about a decade ago where the answer to every question was sell the car.
Sell the car.
It was the sell the car show. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. %100 of your credit score is based on you interacting with debt. Your FICO score is not determined by you winning financially. Your boss could walk in today, he's not going to, she's not going to, and say, you now make $1 million a year, and your FICO score will not change 1 point. The phone could ring, and your grandmother could say your rich uncle that you didn't know you had just died and left you $10 million, and your FICO score will not change 1 point. Your FICO score is not a sign you are winning with money. It's a sign you have played kissy face with the bank. It is based on the debt that you have, the debt load, the type of debt, the length of time you've had the debt, the ratio of the debt to your income, how you have paid the payments on your debt. It is an I love debt score. Mathematically speaking, the algorithm says that the way to have a 750 or 810 FICO score, the only way to have that is to really, really love debt. You have to keep a lot of it, and you have to pay it. It will cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars over a decade to build a FICO score and keep a FICO score of 800 because it's the only way that FICO score is calculated. It is not an I'm winning with money score. It's an I love to support the bank because they're so awesome score. In other words, it's dumber than a freaking rock. So here's what happens. When you quit borrowing money and you've paid off all of your debt and you don't have a single account open, your FICO score will disappear within about a year. As a matter of fact, they will treat you like you have moved to Mars, like you have one eye in the center of your head. Your FICO score is now undeterminable. Ooh. You mean you can't determine that I haven't borrowed money? I think it just means it's zero, but it's undeterminable.
Ooh.
It's like going to the airport. It's a terminal. I don't want to do things that are terminal. I want to do things that bring me life. If they say you have terminal cancer, that's not good, but we go to the airport and we call it a terminal. Undeterminable. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Sounds spooky.
It's the problem. So years ago, I quit borrowing money. So I haven't had a FICO score in like 30 years. I'm not really here. I'm off the grid. This is actually a hologram. I don't really exist because according to you people, I don't have a FICO score, so I'm a nobody. But according to my banker, I'm a nobody with millions of dollars in her bank. And I still have a zero FICO score, a undeterminable FICO score. And guess who just joined the club?
It's my zero FICO score day.
Woo!
We sold our house in May. Took about 5.5 months, and my FICO score is 0.
That was your only debt.
Yep.
And you sold the house. The mortgage is gone.
Yep.
You're a renter
Yep. For the time being.
temporarily right now until you figure out the housing market and what you're going to do. And from May to basically end of November, beginning of December, I have not had a single piece of activity and zero accounts open of any kind and no lates on there and no bad debts on there, obviously. And that's how long it took for your FICO score to evaporate.
Yes, it's gone. And it's so funny. The email was like basically like, oh, we don't know what happened. This happens sometimes, but we can help you correct it.
Yeah, sometimes horrible things happen to people, and we're here to help. We're from FICO.
Right. You're debt free? Wait, what? We can help you get back in debt.
You haven't made offerings to the great gods of FICO. You need to make offerings of interest. Oh, great FICO, you are the provider of all good things. We bring you offerings of interest so that we can buy anything we want on credit later. So you borrow money. Why? So that your FICO score goes up. Why? So that you can borrow more money. So why? Because your FICO score goes up. So why? So you can borrow more money. I had a dog that used to chase its tail, and he was crazy. And this culture does it every day. And you're free.
I'm free. Man, it feels good. It's kind of nerve-wracking, like when you're in that process of waiting for it to go to
Because
zero.
we were talking about this about a month ago. You're going, are you sure it's going to go away? And I'm like, I'm not sure of anything with FICO, except that when you quit borrowing money, eventually they're going to cause you to say you don't exist.
Yeah, I was like, Dave, how long? How many more weeks? How many more months? And he was just like, just stay the course, Christina.
I said,
like,
I think it's going to be a year. Because at that point, so what is it, 7, 8 months?
Yeah.
Something like that for it to go away, right? 7 months. 7 months, yeah, for it to go away before. And it went down before that.
Yeah, it had a good 100
What
point
did it start
drop.
at? Up in the 700.
Yeah, like 700 range.
Yeah, all right. And it's because you'd paid your mortgage on time, you'd paid everything on time, and then you got out of debt,
Yep.
and then you sold the house. And so you went from 700. So you had a fabulous, by all standards, FICO score, and it eroded. It went down to 600s.
Yeah.
Did
And
it
we're
ever
still
go
in the
into
house.
Did it go into the 500s?
I mean, I wasn't
You
checking.
were checking
I
it.
was just waiting for my
checking it 'cause
zero.
You're asking me about it. It's scaring me. It's getting low.
Well, I was just waiting for emails. I was waiting for the email that said 0. And so they sent me an email saying that it had been updated. And so I was like, ooh, it's 0. And then I went and it was like 600. And I was like, oh, being in the housing market, that's kind of
Yeah,
nerve-wracking.
that's exactly what we're talking about. Someday I want to buy a house, and I can't do that with a 600. When's this thing going to go to 0, Dave? And I'm like, all the data that we have, all you people out there that we work with, all the stuff you send us, everything we keep up with from you guys, the research, we don't know because FICO doesn't publish their algorithms, right? They don't tell us what the thing is, but just observing people that have done what you do, it takes 6 months to a year, and yours took 7 months.
Yep. Followed the path. Here
And
we are.
George had a 0 FICO score, went and got a mortgage with manual underwriting with Churchill Mortgage. And so if you're going to go get a mortgage with Churchill Mortgage and you have a 0 credit score and undeterminable, they will write you a mortgage, and it's exactly the same rate as if you had a 700 or an 800 FICO score. Only they have to do stuff like do manual underwriting. So they have to verify that you have money with your bank. They have to verify that you have a job, which is what they ought to freaking be doing anyway. What are you doing giving people a loan based on one number? I'm going to loan you $800,000 for a house. Why? Because you have one number that says FICO, FICO, FICO.
Oh, that's so crazy. It's crazy how
And
our
this is-
system rewards debt and people who are
It's
doing
more
debt.
than rewards it. I mean, by God, it manipulates it and causes it. People just, I mean, because I've been doing this for 30 years. The amount of hate mail and hate crap I get to this day telling people to not borrow money and get rid of their stupid, kissy face, I love debt score is crazy. I'm keeping my credit cards open because Dave Ramsey doesn't know what he's talking about. I mean, he's only got several $100 million, but he doesn't know what he's talking about. God, man, it's dumber than a rock. Just dumber than a freaking rock. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. One of the things we've discovered at Ramsey years ago that has set us apart from the professional financial goobers is that we figured out personal finance is 80% behavior. It's only 20% head knowledge. The mathematics of becoming wealthy are really about the 6th grade level. If you can do multiplication, you can understand compound interest. And so it's within your grasp. You don't have to be a PhD in mathematics to do it. But the problem with understanding that personal finance is 80% behavior is then you have to think, okay, what affects behavior? And what you're going to always see woven through this show, and you've seen it in the last few callers here, and even the emailer, is behavior is all about relationships. It's not all about it, but I mean, it's one of the relationships, your marriage relationship, your kids, your grandmother wants to give you a secret gift that your cousins don't know about. I mean, see, none of this has anything to do with math. If you're just doing math, it's like $30,000 free dollars, yes.
Right.
But
check yes.
Check
as
yes.
George Strait would
Yeah.
want you to do.
There you go.
Check yes or
and
no.
so,
Check yes.
I mean, mutual funds averaging 11.8% rate of return, check yes. Boom. Just like that. You don't have to think about this stuff. It's just a math answer instantly. The problem is that it's not a math answer. You have to anticipate and consider the relational, the spiritual, the emotional, psychological, any components of behavior. If you don't consider those, considering this whole thing is 80% behavior. In other words, the number one thing that screws up people's ability to build wealth is their friends and family.
Or them.
Or your personal behavior.
Yeah, it's you.
It's not your lack of knowledge of some sophisticated financial product. It's not that you don't know the secrets of the rich. It's your freaking dysfunctional family that put the fun in dysfunctional. And
now you're living out of that.
And that screws up your wealth building more than anything else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the perspective you have to have in putting money in its proper place in your life. And when you realize that money is a tool, as I say on my show, to create a life you love, money is the tool for it, right? But it's your life. Your life surrounds it, or it surrounds your life. I'm like, it is the thing that touches every area of your life. And when you just try to do math, you're trying to make it its own thing over here, and it's not. It is built into everything. It's built into soccer registrations. If you have the money to do soccer for your kids for the fall, it has to do with family trips.
That might have just happened.
It has to. It flows through life. It's the thing, the currency we have to live our life. It's not just the numbers. And so when you realize that, you realize, wow, it does touch every area of our life. And yeah, and the problem with it is it's us. We say that all the time. It's the guy in the mirror you shave with, is what you say.
Yep, that's exactly right. And Larry Burkett used to say that money problems are not the problem. They're the symptom
Yep.
of something else that's going on in your life. And
Yep.
so, including when I went broke, it was not because there was some colossal conspiracy against Dave. It's because Dave signed up for a first-class ticket on the stupid ship and went on the entire cruise. There's no question. I mean, stopped
some
at every
islands.
every port on the stupid ship.
And said, yes,
yes,
I will go.
that's it. We were there, baby. And so, but it was the behaviors that put me there, that left me open to, and the character flaws, for that matter, not of lack of integrity or
And
something,
I'll
but
say
other
this,
things.
and which Jade Warshaw just wrote a book on this, but your mindset too, right? You believed a certain way of dealing with money. You believe certain principles were going to get you rich. You believe this way. And so also shifting your mindset and learning new ways to handle your money. That head knowledge is important. That 20% of learning what to do with your money is still key. But why you do what you do with money is important too, which is the behavior.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I get so come down so hard on these people that are hope stealers out there running around going, well, you just can't. In America today, there's systemic this and systemic that. Well, there is. There's also systemic success. It's everywhere around you. Look, there's systemic wealth building. It happens everywhere. And it's the people that plug into that system instead of believing your system of socialism, anarchy is going to solve the problem, which is a bunch of crap. It's just you're frustrated and you feel stuck and you lost your hope. But don't spread that stuff and tell, well, you can't, it's impossible for the Gen Z. They're very frustrated because they can't be a millionaire. Yes, they can be a millionaire. They can be a millionaire by the freaking time they're 30 if they get their crap together.
Hey, I just was with a girl. She's 15 years old. 15 years old.
15.
Yep. Opened up a Roth IRA when she was like 10 years old because she started working in her dad's company and she started doing all this and she did the calculations. She told me she'll be a millionaire by 30. So I was like, well, there you go. Now, she had parents who were teaching her and helping her and encouraging this, right? So she's in an environment that's beautiful. But I'm like...
And so when she goes into some leftist communist college professor's economics class who says you can't do this stuff, she's going to hold up her little Roth IRA and go, ding, 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 ding.
Or scrolling TikTok. And we played a TikTok video here last week of a guy, and he's like, the middle class, you have to make $120,000 to be middle class.
Oh, what a moron.
And he walked through all the numbers, and some of you are like, but, he had like, well, and you only have $625 left. I don't know. And we were like, oh my gosh, what if you invested that? Right? Like, it's the hopes. It's the attitude. It's the attitude behind it. So I think you're exactly right. When you don't believe you can.
And when you teach other people that they can't, that puts you in the evil bucket. The hope stealers are evil. When you steal people's hope, that's what you're doing. Now, I've been accused of being a dream killer because people call up with bizarre crap and I tell them not to do it. That's not a dream killer. That is a nightmare avoidance instructor.
Yeah.
That's different than killing a dream. I'm killing a nightmare. So, but there's a difference in that. Instead of saying, no matter what you do, you're screwed.
That's right. That's right.
And you're not. You're not. You don't have to drive that car. You don't have to wear that shirt. You don't have to carry that purse. You don't have to wear those shoes. You do not have to do any of that to be a quality human and to build wealth. You can do, as a matter of fact, the less of a bunch of that stuff I just listed you do, the faster you're going to build wealth because all of those things are consumption. And so, this idea that you can get away from, you can ignore your personal character, you can ignore toxic relationships, toxic work environments, and still get ahead, that you can ignore the fact that your spouse is spending money faster than you can make it. That's a relationship breakdown. You cannot ignore those things. We did not interview a single millionaire that said, I became a millionaire in spite of my spouse.
Yep.
I did talk to one guy. He said, I lost 110 pounds. I divorced her. But
oh my gosh.
Fix that. But oh my gosh. But he did.
She lost 250 pounds.
You can't carry, I know, but you can't carry them into it. You can't carry them into it.
That's right.
You got, everybody's got to be working together.
It's hard.
These are things we know.
And again, that's not a hope stealer comment. To me, that's the challenge, that if you find yourself in a situation and you are married and you guys are on completely separate pages, let this be a challenge to say, hey, get on the same page, not just to build wealth, but your quality of your relationships. Because again, money's just a tool. The quality of the relationship will be better. Like, all of this fits together. And so it is. It's so crucial. It's so crucial.
If you don't get the elements of behavior going, there is not a product. There's not a mutual fund. There's not a technique. There's not a TikTok video that's going to help you. If you don't get the elements of behavior, your spiritual walk, your emotional and psychological health, your ability to set boundaries with toxic people in and around you, including your family, your quality of your marriage, the unity, the fact that we're in lockstep and both working towards a high definition vision, dream that we want to live together. You cannot avoid that stuff. As a matter of fact, if you do all of that stuff and do some of the math wrong, you'll still be okay. But you can't do the math all right and do all that wrong and make it. It won't work. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.
And so this comes out of the news, but George, it's not just a news story. It's actually a pervasive problem. And the story in the news right now, in fact, it's one of the hottest stories right now. It comes from the political world. This guy named George Santos. Have you heard of this guy?
Oh, yeah.
So he's a newly
I know all
elected,
the Georges out there.
You know
I keep
all
up.
the Georges. Well, so he's a newly elected congressman from New York, if you don't know what I'm talking about. And he's taken a lot of heat from the media, rightfully so, because it's come out, and almost it feels like every day the dude has just lied and lied and lied and lied to cover up those lies about his resume, his background. So he just lied to everybody. And boy, pressure on this guy to resign. And it's a little bit ironic that people are now shocked that a politician lied.
Well, it's the first time in history a politician has lied, Ken.
Yeah,
so
so
this is big news.
So everybody's trying to grasp that deal. And then, but you know what? There's a deeper thing here, and there's a temptation for all of us to do what George Santos has done. And I'm going to break that down in a second, but I wanted, George, you pulled it up. Give us, if you would, just a couple of the fantastical lies that this congressman has laid out for everybody.
Lied about where he went to school, lied about where he worked, lied about owning a number of rental properties, lied about being robbed of his rent money, lied about his criminal status in Brazil, lied to donors, lied about his athletic accomplishments, lied about the timing of his mother's death, lied about his campaign finances, and this one might be the funniest one. He lied about being Jewish, and then he came back and said, no, I said I was Jewish.
which is even worse than the lie.
That's borderline comedic.
Yeah, wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so this is a guy.
This is pathological, though.
That's the word.
Right?
No, he's a pathological liar. Now, why do we bring this up? In the work context for a moment, those of you who feel a sense of doubt, maybe you are dealing with imposter syndrome, and we took a call from a young man earlier this hour trying to get a job. And when we face doubt, George, it tempts us to be deceitful. Because we feel like if I'm not good enough, I've got to make up a story that makes me good enough. That's the slippery slope. And that's what he did.
Well, he took fake it till you make it to a very dangerous level here.
Oh, man. I mean, it's
He's
unbelievable. So doubt leads to deceit. When we don't manage our doubt, I don't think I'm good enough. I don't think I'll get the job. I don't think they'll like me. I don't think she'll marry me. I mean, this thing spirals out of control, and it's all deceit, lying like this. And this is unbelievable, folks. Listen to this data. This is right here in my hand, CNBC article. 55% of Americans admit to lying on their resume at least once. 55%, George. This is according to a recent survey from Standout CV. And now it gets worse. By the way, before I tell you this data, if anybody out there wants to really know what we the people are really like, you want to know what the people of the world are really like, you want to know the true human condition, go look at Google searches. That's the ultimate indicator of who we are as humans. Case in point, the number of Google searches about how to fake a resume is up. The searches for how to fake a resume is up 48%, George. So what are people lying about? Here, real quick, the top 8 reasons or what they are lying about on their resume. 55% of people lie about their previous work experience. Well, that's smart because we know no one's going to check your references. I got anxiety thinking about this, George. How do you keep up with this?
The audacity that you could even pull this off is impressive.
Here's another one. This is my personal favorite because of the opportunity to humiliate yourself. 43% people admit to lying about their skills. Oh, yeah, I can operate heavy machinery.
Or even worse.
We'll see you on Monday morning.
Ken, you've done this one. I know Excel. It's a dangerous one.
Yeah, but no, heavy machinery. What are you doing, man?
That one could be life-altering.
Literally life-altering. 41% lie about their college degree. 39% lie about personal details such as age, location, or name. 39% lie about high school. Hey, can I set everybody free who's tempted to lie about high school? Nobody cares what you did in high school. No one. Not even your mom or dad, because they've forgotten. 33% lie about salary. 33% lie about job-specific software or equipment skills, and then finally 21%, and this is so moronic, I don't even know how to process it. 21% of people lie on their resume about their employer references. So I guess they're making that up. Hey, George, will you do me a solid? I'm putting you down as a reference.
Oh, so I give him Ken's number, and I go, yeah, he was my previous manager. Give him a call. He'd be happy to talk to you. And I slip you a $20 bill and say, hey, Ken, if they call, make me look good.
Yeah, I feel like I need a shower. That's how dirty I feel right now.
So the solution here, Ken, obviously is to have integrity, which if I'm hiring someone, I want to hire someone with integrity. How do we get over this hump?
Yeah, so back to the reason, I always like to try to give you a deep source behind why we do what we do. And I think doubt is what leads us to deceit. So then if we need to manage doubt better, what do? So if doubt, the way I define doubt, George, is that I don't believe that something good can happen. That's doubt. I just don't believe that something good, this thing that I long for, this thing that I want to do, it can't happen. I doubt that it can happen for a variety of reasons. And so what you have to do there is you got to go, number one, I can't shortcut this doubt. I can't take my doubt in myself and then try to shortcut it by lying to everybody else. No, I've got to step into me and go, what is the voice of doubt telling me? I'm too old. Is that true? I'm a stay-at-home mom. I've got nothing to offer if I enter the workforce. Is that true? Is there any evidence that the doubt is telling you the truth? Because if doubt is telling you the truth, it's protecting you. I'll give you a silly example. George, if there's a 10-foot basketball goal in the lobby, and I tell all these fine people watching, hey, I can dunk. Have you ever seen me dunk before? Watch this. I'm going to dunk. And moments before I go to dunk the ball, I have some serious doubt because I haven't stretched. And let's be honest, I've never dunked a basketball. And doubt's going, I don't know if you can do this. Doubt's protecting me from certain humiliation. Silly example, but you get the point.
I'd lower the hoop for you, Ken, just for the record.
Thank you. But even then, it'd be a question mark. All right. But if doubt is saying, I can't ever start a business, I can't pay off debt, I can't get through the baby steps, I can't earn enough money to do it, that's holding you back. That's the idea. So instead of lying and trying to shortcut, which is what people do here, to get the job, you got to go, what am I doubting? Why am I doubting? Is there any evidence to support that? And then when we get clear that, hey, I actually can do this if I go get qualified, if I go make some connections. Now all of a sudden we're not having to lie. And here's the big takeaway. The reason we bring this up is because you can do severe damage to your ability to earn money if you get caught lying like this. I mean, because if you're lying on a resume, you'll lie on the job. And that's the idea.
And if I'm the hiring manager, I'd rather you come to me and say, hey, listen, I know you require this much experience. Here's what I'm bringing to the table. I know I'm not quite there, but here's what I'm doing to get there. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I'm ready to hire this guy.
Right.
Versus someone lying to my face.
Yeah. Not good at all.
Come on, be better, George Santos. I'm trying to represent Georges out here. Foreman, Lopez, Costanza, Washington.
I like that.
Put respect on our name.
You know what the problem is? The guy, he's holding on for dear life. He's lied so much, he doesn't even know how to unravel or admit any of it.
I don't even know if his name's George anymore.
Why we should look into that.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
My question is, so I'd be paying off my only debt I have, which is my car payment tomorrow, so that would be clear.
Congratulations.
My husband has, thank you. My husband has just a $7,200 car payment, and he just took out another line of credit for $8,000. So my question is, I have about $600 spare from my car payment. Should I help him pay back his line of credit? But my worry is that he paid off $10,000 line of credit last year, and he took another $8,000 and put it in stock. So my worry is that if I help pay him, help pay his line of credit back, he's going to take another line of credit, and we're going to be in debt still over and over again.
I'm more worried about the marriage than the debt.
Way
truthfully.
more. Me and my roommates in college were more aligned on our finances than you and your husband are.
Yeah, we don't have joint accounts. We have separate.
But I heard on the internet that it's best to have separate accounts, and here you are telling me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm joking with you because this is the hate we get when we tell people combine finances for this reason, for transparency, accountability, because it's real hard to make financial mistakes when your partner is locked in arms with you. You have someone else to say, hey, maybe we shouldn't take out that line of credit. So did you know he was doing this and agree to it? Did you tell him stop? Did he do it behind your back?
So I didn't know he took out another $8,000. He was talking about it, but I didn't know actually he was doing it. All I said was, we just paid off. He just paid off the 10 grand. He worked overtime to do that. And he said, well, I really want to do stocks. I was like, okay, look into it. And he took out $8K for it. And I didn't think he would actually do it because he just finished.
So he essentially went into debt to gamble?
Yeah.
It sounds like he may have some addiction issues here.
Well, he got into finances after reading Dave Ramsey books. Yeah,
he didn't read any book Dave Ramsey wrote, I can tell you that.
Yeah, he wanted to do something different, I think, and he wanted to do stocks, which I like. He's into stocks now. I have no idea what
He's probably day trading.
So.
In which basically what day trading is it's
gambling for financial nerds.
Well, even better than that, it's a piecemeal donation to large hedge fund managers.
Okay.
That's what it is. He's just taking that $8,000 and he's breaking it up in little pieces and giving it away to really rich men and women to make them richer.
Okay.
It's not good.
So let me answer your question simply. Should you help your husband pay off his debt? No. Should you guys pay off your debts? Yes. So there's a different piece of language that's going to require some hard conversations, some resets, some alignment to go, we're doing everything together, and that means no more debt. We're paying this off once and for all, and you're not going to make any decisions behind my back. I'm not going to make any decisions behind your back.
And I think what I'm hearing here, Bethany from Toronto, is your marriage is in a mess. And I would recommend sitting down, because this kind of stuff doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's not like y'all are completely aligned on raising kids and the future and vacations and holidays and savings, and then all of a sudden he pulls out an $8,000 loan and puts it in the stock market, puts it on red 50 and spins the roulette wheel. This is two people who are barely roommates, who are trying to co-manage a house, but this isn't building a united marriage, that it's you and him versus the world, which is what you have to survive these days. So you sit down with him and y'all say, and you exhale and say, I'm scared about us. I'm scared about the way we handle money. I'm scared about the way I don't know where things are going and how they're going. Will you join me on this? But your marriage is on some pretty thin ice, and that's worth addressing before you get into the money stuff. But yes, once y'all are aligned, you both work really hard to pay off each other's debts because it's y'all's. There's one debt. It's ours.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today. This show has become inordinately successful with 30 million of you so out there in a given month on YouTube's podcast, on the various platforms, the 680 radio stations that carry us, because we understand that personal finance is not math. The problem with my money is the guy I shave with. The mathematics of becoming wealthy are somewhere, you learn them somewhere around the 6th grade. This is not an intellect problem. This is a behavior problem. If I can get the moron in my mirror to behave, he can be skinny and rich. But he's got issues. And he engages in stupid people tricks to the extent that I have dysfunction in my relationships. I'm going to struggle to build wealth. To the extent that I have dysfunction in my behaviors, like a lack of work ethic, a lack of integrity, other character issues, I'm going to struggle to build wealth. And so there is a tie-in between your emotional well-being, your relational acumen, that is more predictive of your ability to become wealthy than your income. In other words, it doesn't matter what you make. If you're addicted to cocaine, you're going to lose everything. 100% of addicts, as an example of this discussion, end up broke. Eventually. 100%. Eventually. Some in 10 months, some in 10 years. And they lose everything. That's a misbehavior that caused that. It's not a math problem that caused that. It wasn't they didn't understand how mutual funds work. It wasn't that they didn't earn an income. A lot of cocaine addicts earn a great income, and they hide their addiction. But if you don't know how to interact with the opposite sex and you continually choose poorly in your mate, you are going to make it almost impossible to create a sustainable financial life.
And
Isn't that weird?
yeah, and I'm just haunted by like that last call haunts me because when you say it, like you won't accept this for your own child. Everyone goes, no, I would never accept that. But you just become blind to it, and you just keep doing it, and you just keep doing it, and you keep doing it, and you wonder. You keep going back to the money issue. Why are we broke? Why are we broke? Why are we broke? You gotta let this predator who is preying on you and your time. You gotta let him go. I ain't doing that. All right. Well, there's not like a crypto secret we can tell you to help you make money. There's not like a budgeting hack we can give you. You and him have to go work. It's just tough, man. If you're not connected with your spouse, you're gonna have trouble.
It can be a relational thing. I mean, it's one of the jokes that we had in the early days of the show was, if you marry a woman that likes spending, you better enjoy working.
Right.
And so, but it's also the opposite way.
Absolutely.
Obviously, if you marry a man that likes spending, you better enjoy working. And so, because you can't out earn it, and you can't keep up. And the correlation among millionaires between spouses that work together and that both shoulder the load together, it's almost 100% of them.
Yeah.
There are very few people build wealth dragging a deadbeat along, or dragging someone who's misbehaving in some area of their life along. Someone who won't work, someone who can't tell the truth, someone that won't file their taxes, someone that lies all the time. You just these dysfunctional people that are in all of our lives, to the extent that they are that we're wrapped up with them, pretty much ensures that we're going to create a situation where we can't build a sustainable financial situation.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I've been able to build wealth is my wife is a freaking rock.
Right.
She's a rock. I mean, the amount of drama in 43 years I've had at home when I got home at night with little kids at home was precisely zero.
Yeah. The only drama in my house, I bring it.
Occasionally there was drama before I got there.
Right.
But it's not like wait till your daddy gets home. No, fear the wrath of Sharon instead. It's like there is not a. I was not having to carry 3 or 4 things around while I was at work. I was carrying work around, and it's why we were able to make such progress.
Yeah, it's fun. They say that one of the greatest determinants for joy, happiness in your life is marrying well. It's the most important decision you make, because marrying poorly, it's disproportionate how bad your life is. And marrying well, it's disproportionate how wonderful it makes your life.
But our friend Dr. Henry Cloud with the book Boundaries, whether it is your marriage partner or not, just the other people in your life,
your business partner, your buddies,
will suck the marrow out of your bones,
right,
because you won't put up a boundary,
right,
or for some reason don't know to put up a boundary. You weren't raised in such a way. Well, I was raised, you always take care of daddy. Well, did you notice that your daddy is a problem?
Right. Or, well, that's just so-and-so. Like, stop.
That's just the way he is.
I would love a great exercise for folks is to write down the top 5 to 10 to 15 people in your life. They can be coworkers, they can be family members, they can be friends. If you're lucky, you got 10 in this current world we live in. If you're exceptionally lucky if you got 15. Write them down and just draw a line across the paper and say vampire or contributor. Is this a person that when I get done being around them, I'm just like, ugh. Or I get done being around them and I can't wait to go hang out again. They are somebody that brings me up. And I challenge you in 2024 to find opportunities to be around vampire people less.
Yeah.
And be around those who pour into you, who are excited, who challenge you more. And that doesn't mean you get along all the time. Like some of the people who contribute most of my life, man, we are button heads all the time. And I love them. And I believe this very similar things with some of the most vampiric people. I just made that word up. That just you get done, you're just like, golly, dude, I feel like I was just slogging through quicksand.
Well, I mean, when you come out of a meeting or you come out of a social gathering with someone and you feel like you need to take a shower, I don't want to repeat this.
Right.
I'm done.
Right.
And my wife's like, well, we need to be nice. No, I don't need to be nice.
We need to be nice to us so
I'm
that we
not
can
going to
be
be nice. I can be nice from a further distance. I'll wave from over there, you know? But this close physical proximity with slime is a problem.
Yeah.
You know, and it's you know, and it's okay. It's not that I'm a snob.
No, I like you, but I'm not going to hang out with you.
Yeah, I can be nice to you. I can help
I
you.
love you. I'm not going
I
to.
can encourage you, but you're not going to be part of my crew
That's right. Yeah.
because you become who you hang around with.
And if you find out that you're married to somebody who is more of a vampire than a contributor, this is the year. Let this be the year that you put that on the table and say, let's build something new. Let's build something new.
You know, I'm taking your sharp teeth.
Yeah. Well, or like the first caller of this hour, that I'm going to be clear for the first time because I find myself, I don't like you. I don't want to be around you. The things you do annoy me. And I kind of hem and haw and hint. I've never just been honest with you. I've just never told you. Let's put all that on the table this year.
Turn the lights on.
Decide to heal this thing moving forward. Because at some point, there are people in the margins that are struggling. That's not who I'm talking to. I'm talking to most of us. Most of us at some point choose the relationships we have. Mm-hmm. And we choose the dance that we choose to do in those things. And at some point, somebody's got to pull the ripcord and say, this one's over. This one's over. We're going to build something new.
And the reason for the sidebar right now is this. This is the time of year to look at this and say, okay, I want you to leave from this little rant that we've done for the last 5 minutes. I want you to leave with this idea. Who you hang around with and who you are going to create relationship with is 100x more important towards whether you're able to build wealth than whether you understand how a mutual fund works or what your income is. They're going to screw up your life if you let them. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So I am struggling with some family issues. About 2 years ago, actually 3 years ago now, my work offered me a promotion in which I had to move about 400 miles from where I currently was living. And at that time, I didn't know what to do with the house. We'd only owned it a year. So some of my family members, my wife's sisters, decided they wanted to rent the house from us. Well, it turned into 2 years later, they hadn't paid rent on time once in a year. They were 2 months behind on rent, and they had trashed the house. And we're just trying to struggle with, like, family gatherings are awkward, and, you know, like...
Oh, I can help you with that.
What do we do? Yeah.
It's your fault.
Yeah.
It's not their fault. You put two wild, wicked, young single women into your rental house, and then you're shocked they tore it up while they weren't paying rent and you did nothing about it.
Yep.
Your fault, not their fault. They just is what they is.
Yeah.
Where's wife?
You knew what they
wife
were
been on
when you
this?
let them move in there, didn't you?
I was.
You knew this was
Unfortunately,
stupid
my
when you
wife-
did it, didn't you?
Yeah, my wife couldn't understand the thought of her sisters doing this to us, so she was very firm that they wouldn't hurt us in this way.
Yeah, she's
And-
delusional.
Yeah.
She knew they were crazy too. You knew they were wild as buck, didn't
Yeah,
you?
I did.
Yeah. So you just turned your dadgum thing into a sorority house.
So has your sister not called her sisters? I mean, your wife not called her sisters?
The ones that would never do this?
She has talked with her sisters, but they just act like they act like nothing has happened, nothing's wrong, that they didn't destroy this house that was, you know, something that we had worked hard to get
Yeah.
to.
So what does your wife say? Does she say they destroyed it, or is she in denial too?
No, she's not in denial. She's on board, but
Okay.
she's on board with it now. But she's also like, how do we go to Christmas and spend time with the family, and then be like, oh, we're not getting you guys gifts because you owe us $2,000 in back rent, and the $6,000 or $8,000 in damages that we had to do to get the house livable again, because we ended up moving back into the house.
Okay, let me change gears a minute. I was picking on you, but it is the way you go to Christmas is you take responsibility for this. It is your fault. That's how you go to Christmas. You quit blaming them. Here's the deal.
Yeah.
The day they were late the first time, you should have moved them. If you're in one of my rental properties and you don't pay your rent, you know what we do? We evict your butt. If we go over and do an inspection, which we do monthly or every 2 months on every single residential property, we walk through it. If a cat lives there or you're partying, we evict your butt. You're not tearing up my property. That's called landlording.
Yeah.
Y'all did not landlord. You didn't collect your rent and you didn't manage your property. You stood back and watched two wild, crazy women tear up your stuff and did nothing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened. I mean, you suck as a landlord, dude.
Yeah, it wasn't originally the plan when we bought the house. It was just my work.
I
said, hey,
get all that, but you're asking me how you heal the relationships, but you're blaming somebody for being who they is. You already knew who they is.
So
they're irresponsible party animal sorority girls who don't give a crap about anybody, and you brought them in as a tenant, and then you're shocked that they're irresponsible party girls who don't give a crap about anybody, who happens to be kin to me.
Yeah, and it wasn't even partying. It was more like people with mental health issues like depression, and they couldn't keep the house clean. And
no, they didn't keep the house clean. They could, but they didn't. Depressed people clean houses all the time. Happens all the time.
Yeah.
If they're getting evicted, if they don't, they suddenly magically clean the house.
So what's your plan moving forward? Have you evicted them from the house?
Yes, so about a year ago, this all started 3 years ago. A year ago, my work offered me an opportunity to work from home, and I said, okay, I'm going to move back into this house.
So are you back in it?
So that yes, I am.
Okay, so it's all fixed and it's all in the rearview mirror. So the only question now is you lost the money and you think you're going to get it. Ha ha, you're not getting it.
I would eat it.
Forget it. Walk away. Forgive and forget. They is who they is. We love them. I've got relatives that vote wrong. I love them anyway. They vote for the wrong people.
Okay.
I just don't understand, but I love them anyway. I got relatives that do other stupid things, and I love them anyway. But they're not renting my dadgum house either.
Yeah.
And so I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be tough on you, but the way sometimes that I can put something that's been done to me in the rearview mirror is when I realize how much of it I allowed to happen to me or I invited to happen to me. Therefore, I take responsibility for the situation as much as the goobers. The goobers are just goobers. It's what they are. And it's sad, but I mean, you know, they're not going to ever be anything else. The day you're in a dream world if you think they're going to walk up at Christmas and go, you know, I'm really sorry. Here's a $2,000 check for the back rent and $5,000 for the damage, and we really are so sorry we messed up. The day that happens, I will turn blue. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, and they haven't even had a job since they
of course
moved out
not.
of this house. One of them had a job for 4 months, and they're living in my in-laws' basement now doing the exact
But here's the
same
deal.
thing.
Hey, hold on. Here's the deal. You shouldn't even know where they live. Now you're keeping tabs on them. They're still living rent free. They just moved from their house to your head. Let them go. Let them go do their life, right?
Yeah.
And you and your wife decide, hey, it cost us $7,000 to get back here. We learned a lesson.
You're looking for justice, and there is none.
Yeah, not going to have it anymore. We're going to move on with our life.
There's no justice. There's no justice.
And maybe y'all don't do Christmas presents. That's fine. That's a decision y'all would make. I wouldn't do it as retribution or like keep some sort of, when they're 68 years old, you can be like, hey, y'all finally paid off the tab. So here's a Christmas dish. But
we've been doing it at $250
we're just not going to do it
It's been 10 years. You're back even again.
Is that work for y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's.
I hate it for you, man.
I'm sorry you went through this, but it was your expectations and your lack of management that made the situation bizarre happen and made it worse. And so, you could have limited the damage after you did it. You could have stopped it from ever happening if you'd have just stood up and said, no, of course not. You can't live in our house. No, you don't pay bills and you tear up stuff. Of course not. No.
Yep.
I mean, we all have relatives. We all have friends that we love at a greater distance than living in our own home. You know, you go over there somewhere and be you.
I
you know?
shocked somebody the other day telling them two of my closest friends on the planet, my oldest friends, who would lay down in traffic for me. I wouldn't hire them. They're terrible employees. They're amazing, like long-term friends. I would never hire them. Right, and both of those things can coexist. I can love people, but you can't live in my house.
Yeah,
right.
That's exactly right. So Noah, that lesson learned.
Or you can live in my house for a year, and I'm not going to lose sleep over it.
If you put the word family in front of dysfunctional, it doesn't change dysfunctional. It just magnifies it. And so, you know, you got dysfunctional, and then you got family dysfunctional, which is like 10x. And so all you did was just ask for that to not – existing dysfunction was apparent to you and your wife. You ignored it and went ahead anyway. There's a proverb says, a wise man sees trouble and turns. A fool goes forward and suffers for it. I have been a fool a time or two. That's why I'm so passionate about this. I see something, I know better, I go forward anyway, and I suffer for it. And that's exactly what happened to y'all. And I'm so sorry. But good news is you never have to do it again. Listen to your brain. It's talking to you. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Marcy is in Seattle, Washington. Hey, Marcy, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I have a question about long-term care insurance. My husband and I purchased policies a few months ago to avoid a state-run program that we thought was going to be implemented as of January 1st. That has since been delayed till at least April of this year, but it's looking like it's going to be pushed out even further, like till July of 2023. So we're wondering if we should keep the policies that we have. They are not the best long-term care insurance policy that we probably could have gotten.
Well, you just wanted something cheap to keep your communist government from taxing you.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
The state of Washington's lost its
those.
freaking mind. Yeah.
It was a ridiculous act, and there's so many flaws in it. I think that's why there's all these bills being proposed now to try and delay it and fix some of the flaws.
I wish somebody put it in front of the Supreme Court and just stomp on it. But
right,
in the meantime, we real people out here have to deal with this crap. So I wouldn't drop it if you're going to turn around and buy it again in April. But if you don't have to buy it until June of 23, then yes, I would drop it. So I guess I'm probably tapping the brakes and just see what happens. If they kick it in April, you got to turn around and buy it again, right?
Yes, to avoid it.
Yeah, and it's a lot of trouble. And so I'd probably just sit on it for a month or two here, and then if they do kick the can on down the road to June, I'd drop it.
How old are you two?
Okay. I'm 49 and my husband's 54.
But they're required by state law to carry it now. If they don't, they get a tax.
Correct.
Regardless of age.
What are you paying every month? Have you kind of shopped this around to at least make sure that you're getting a good deal?
Yeah, initially we didn't because there was sort of a frenzy of people trying to get policies in place. So we just grabbed whatever we could. But we're paying combined, my husband and I, about $200 a month for our policy. The state tax would be about half of that. But it's garbage coverage.
Yeah.
And then I did actually a couple of weeks ago speak to one of your ELPs that specializes in long-term care insurance policies, and he said that for about the same prices that we're paying right now for a universal life policy with a long-term care rider, he could get us a policy.
I'm sorry, you said one of my ELPs told you that?
No.
Oh, I didn't think so.
He could offer us a better policy. So one that fits within, your guidelines and everything,
it's
not
not
the one that
a
we
universal
have,
life policy,
but
right?
that would be a similar cost, basically equivalent to what we're paying right now for.
Okay. Well, if you would rather change anyway, then you could drop this, wait till April, figure it out, or wait till the following June and figure it out, and go to the one you're changing to. If you're going to change anyway, that changes the answer. So it sounds like you bought the universal life one, and you do need to drop that. So yeah, go ahead and drop it now, and then in April, if you have to rebuy to avoid the tax, you can do that again.
How many states require that?
One.
Oh.
One.
Okay, she lucked out by living in Washington.
So far. Well, I mean, they're just complete bonkers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, you pass a law that if you don't carry long-term care insurance, you have to pay a tax the equivalent of the cost of long-term care insurance because the state is going to have to pay part of Medicaid if you go into the nursing home. And it's just straight up socialism. I mean, it's just classic. But this is the reason people are running out of some of these states is their taxation and their social policies are both just people are leaving literally by the truckloads. So
they're leaving the coast.
Yeah, it's
they're coming to Tennessee.
Well, yeah. The latest one I saw was, please don't be a missionary, just be a refugee.
That's good.
Meaning don't bring your stupid vote with you if you come. So I've tried to get the Tennessee state legislature to pass a law that if you move here from California, you can't vote for 2 years.
Ooh.
Or until you've been through indoctrination on what actually running an economy looks like. But they haven't picked me up on that
Haven't
yet,
responded to your email.
Yeah, it's not answered me on that one. So can you imagine why?
I think it went to spam.
Yeah, it went to that. I'm in that other file.
I have a special folder for you.
Special folder for Dave. That's it. As we mentioned a little earlier in the show, we're doing our 25th anniversary. What's interesting is that the basic information, the core of what we do, in 25 years has not changed. We still tell you, and have from the very first day we went on the air, to live on less than you make. You're not in Congress. In the house of the wise, there are stores of choice food and oil, but a foolish man devours all he has. If you spend everything you make, you're a fool. I've been a fool. Some of you have been a fool. Most of us have at one time or another in our life. We still tell you to get out of debt. That's simple. Well, Dave Ramsey makes me mad. I don't like Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey this, Dave Ramsey that. Twitter and Facebook fools out there floating around. Most of them not even born yet when I started doing this show. And everybody's got an opinion. You ever notice how many broke people have opinions about money? It's like fat people having opinions about marathons. Just stupid. Just a dumb idea. You know? And I used to be a lot nicer when I first started the show. I would try to convince everyone, and I was kind, and it really upset me when someone didn't like me or was mad about something I said. And after doing this long and 15 million books sold and 5 million people through Financial Peace University and 14 million of you listening here every week through one version or another of this show, I'm pretty convinced now, based on how many people have become millionaires and how many people have gotten out of debt and how many people have increased their generosity and how many people have saved their marriage that was about to fall apart over money. I'm pretty convinced now that on these money subjects, if you're upset by what I say, it's probably because you need to change. You're a whiner. If you don't agree with me on this stuff, you're what's known as wrong. Well, that's arrogant. No, not arrogant at all. It's confidence. There's a difference in confidence and arrogance. I've been doing this more than anyone else in the entire world. While you that are listening to me have been alive, there's no one else on the planet that has gotten as many people out of debt, that has caused as many people to be millionaires. No one else. Now, there's a lot of stuff I'm not good at, and there's a lot of stuff I don't know anything about. And yes, I'm not perfect. I get all of that. and this is not about me, but it's pretty aggravating after all this time that some of you are still trying to convince your friends and relatives to do stupid stuff with money. It's aggravating because when you do convince them to do stupid stuff with money, you're causing them to be broke. You are a curse in their lives. Oh, don't pay off your mortgage. Dave Ramsey doesn't know what he's talking about. Let me just tell you, sweetheart, you can get your mortgage paid off. Life doesn't get much better. You don't have a payment in the world. You've got what's known as money. The borrower is slave to the lender. And you can't sophisticate, Dave Ramsey stuff's good for broke people. It's good for regular people, but it's not good for rich people. Well, you stupid twit. What are your parents' cousins? Of course it's good for rich people. How do you think they got rich doing this stuff? And what an idiotic statement. And people just say the dumbest things. And the social media is just wonderful. I love the fact I can jump on Twitter with an idea and 800,000 people see it instantaneously. I love that. It's kind of cool. I mean, it really is. And there's a lot of fun stuff about Facebook you can do. But I'll tell you what, the other thing it's done is it's given voice. It's given people who shouldn't have an opinion a place to have one. I mean, you're living in your mother's basement writing a blog on finance. Really, you should stay off the computer, son, and get a job. Seriously. You ought to go make an income somewhere. Well, that is my job. Listen, you're 29. It's time to get out of your mother's basement, really. And, a lot of it's just clickbait. Someone trying to get, the use of my name now to lift up their ridiculous process. But here's the deal. 25 years later, still works. Get out of debt, live on less than you make, live on a written plan called a budget, save money for emergencies, for kids' college, and long-term investing to change your family tree. Be outrageously generous. For those of us that are evangelical Christians, that's a tithe, 1/10 of our income at least, to our local church. It changes everything when you learn to handle money. Personal finance is 80% behavior. It's only 20% head knowledge. The guy in the mirror is my problem. If I can control that guy, he can be skinny and rich. And here's what happens. No, money is not the answer to everything. These are biblical financial principles. I don't know if I agree with what Dave Ramsey says. Well, how about the Bible? Well, just, you don't have to argue with me. Look it up in the Bible, doofus. It's in there. I mean, there's nothing crazier than a crazy Christian. Some of you people are Fruit Loops. I'm serious. It's ridiculous. And you argue while sitting there broke. That's what's weird. These broke people run around with these passionate opinions. And it's a Dr. Phil moment. How's that working for you? Maybe it's time to change. All of us have to look up and say, at some point, I've had enough. That's it. I've had it. I'm not living like this anymore. I'm done. And that happened to me when I went broke because I was stupid. I mean, I got a PhD in DUMB. I've done stupid with zeros on the end. I know exactly what it looks like. I know how it feels to be so scared you can't breathe. Your lights are cut off. Your water's being cut off. They're going to foreclose on your house. And you got 2 little kids living there. My wife would have left, but she didn't have the money. I mean, we were fighting like hillbillies, man, because we are. It was crazy. It was out of control. I know how that feels. Some of you are there right now, and I'll never pick on you for being there right now. I'll never pick on you based on your income. I'll never pick it, but I will pick on you for continuing to argue about staying in stupid. If you're stuck on stupid, don't call me and want to argue with me about that. It won't be good for you because I'm going to bust you for your own good. Because you got to get unstuck, man. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. That's the definition of insanity. If the set of behaviors about handling money, your viewpoints, your big-time philosophies about money have brought you to where you are and you don't like where you are, you probably need some new ideas, darling. And maybe you need to get off your high horse if you're broke and quit telling everybody how smart you are about money, because the fruit in your life says you're not. It says you're stupid. I've been stupid. I know how it feels. It causes you to be broke. So just decide which way you want to live. That's what's interesting about this show for 25 years. These things have never changed. The only thing that's changed is I'm a whole lot more blunt than I used to be. I've probably got less patience. I'm still fairly patient with somebody that's hurting, but I got less patience with somebody who wants to be broke and stupid and argue about it. It's just dumb to me. It doesn't make any sense. So that's why I reach over on Twitter occasionally and just knock the crap out of somebody just because it's fun. Just fun. Oh, but you're thin-skinned. I'm not thin-skinned. Somebody criticizes you, says something on Twitter that they didn't have the guts to say to your face, and you smack them. That's not thin-skinned. That's just called smacking them. Wussification of America. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome. How can we help?
So I make about $80,000 a year. I have about $85,000 in consumer debt spread out between a car payment, a personal loan, and some credit cards.
Okay. Can you tell us how it spreads out, just so we know?
Yeah. So I have $43,000 on a 2021 truck, $24,000 on a personal loan, and then the rest is credit card.
Okay, thank you.
Back in September, I started working with this company that is supposed to negotiate with these credit card companies and the personal loan company to help bring the balance
like
down.
These debt settlement relief companies?
Yes, exactly. No. And so just recently finding you guys, I'm coming to the horrible realization that this was a bad idea. Mm-hmm. And to the point where most of these accounts are defaulted or, not going to work with me personally. So I don't really know where to go from there in the baby steps. I have $1,000 funds saved, but as far as like tackling the debt, the truck itself is the only thing that's active, if you will.
Is it upside down?
Making payments on every month. No.
So we're selling the truck. First off, that's what I'm doing, because a guy who's making $80,000 probably shouldn't have a car that's more than half of his annual income. That's kind of just a rule of thumb that we go by around here. And I mean, yours is just a little above, but considering your debt, if I woke up in your shoes, the first thing I would do is sell that car. And I love, so many people call in, James, that are upside down in their vehicles, and it kind of puts a wrench in the plan. I mean, they're still able to do it, but because you're not upside down, if you sold that car today, what would you get?
Real close, regardless. But my question with that would be: is I travel for work, and my vehicle is like my lifeline. Every 6 weeks to 3 months, I'm going to a different part of the country. I build retail stores for a living. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, having a vehicle with a warranty was kind of why I went with a new vehicle when I purchased it in the first place.
So you're hauling things in the truck because of your work, like it's a work truck?
Yes.
So you're saying that there's no way that you could have half the truck, have a $23,000 truck, do the same thing?
No, I guess that's not the case.
Yeah, because I'm not telling you that you have to get a $2,000 truck. I'm just saying I think there's a significant downgrade that you can do in this situation. And I'm saying that that's what we're working up to. Thing one here is we're paying off your debt. That's what we've got. That's the house that's on fire. That's what we've got to be focused on. And part of that, the reason that your house is on fire is because you've got a $43,000 truck.
So if we can knock
and
that
it's
down
like
for the time being,
65 a month or something.
if we can knock that down for the time being to far less expensive, that is going to get you where you want to go. And then the time's going to come where you can upgrade slowly to get back to a $40,000 truck.
Sure. So would I attack the truck, get rid of the truck, and then start working on this debt that's now going to collections and stop working with this debt consolidation company?
Stop giving them money. So what these companies do, James, and now you know this, is they'll intentionally tell you, hey, stop paying all payments on this.
Yeah.
Let it tank, and then we'll try to negotiate the payment to make it lower, which in turn just implodes your financial life and really doesn't solve the problem. And by the way, you could have done that yourself.
Yeah.
And so these companies are borderline scam, and I hate them with a burning passion. But yeah, we need to get rid of this truck and downgrade for now, which is going to free up a payment. You said how much is the payment on this truck?
It is $835.
Oh, Lordy. Listen, James, $835, do you know? That's so much money. That is so much money. You're going to be able to make such great headway. Before you sell the truck, obviously, you're going to need to set aside some cash that you can get a car in cash. And again, remember, this is just short term. Like, I understand everything you said about your truck being your livelihood in many ways, but this is just such a short-term sacrifice, because with $835 saved up, or, you know, saved in your budget every month, you're going to be able to pay off $10,000, $11,000 in credit cards, lickety-split. You're going to be able to pay off that $24,000 loan, lickety-split, because I know that's not the only money that you'll be able to free up to put towards this debt.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
And James, the other issue with using this truck for work, a new expensive truck, is that you are destroying the value by taking this thing on the road like that. And so you need to get out of this thing while you can, and you're not underwater.
He's lucky he's not already with the miles.
You'd put another 10, 20, 30, 40,000 miles on this thing, and that value is just going to drop like a rock.
Mm-hmm. So that's your homework coming out of here. Your homework is, we tell everybody to get on a budget. So make sure you pull out an every dollar budget. That's just going to help you. That's your roadmap going forward. And then number 2, you're going to start saving up a little bit of cash so that as soon as possible, you can sell this car and have some cash to get just in the meantime. Because once you sell that car, it's going to take you a year to get out of this debt or less. I'm going to say 8 to 12 months to pay this off if you get after it. Fair enough?
Okay. And and I'm not entirely alone here. I do have a fiance and 2 children at home. I have a 7-year-old and a 1-year-old. So it makes it a little difficult for my fiance to, help in the income endeavor. As of now, we don't really have strong support system around. But as
I don't think she should help you yet because you're not married yet. So until you get married, even though you might be living together, financially keep it separate. And this is your debt until you guys do get married.
Because her credit card debt is in total with that $85,000.
Okay. So thank you for the clarification. For right now, when do you guys get married?
We've been together 12 years. So.
Oh, you've been together 12 years, but when do you get married?
Yeah, good question.
Listen,
James,
you just flipped the entire script on us right here.
You just done ticked off the wrong Jade.
No, I'm not mad. I just wish I had this information sooner. Listen, number 1, get married and stop playing. If you've been together 12 years, you got 2 kids together, this is the woman. And if it's not
a real wedding, and it's just not in the table.
Okay, I get that, but literally just get the piece of paper because this is for legal protection for both of you. And if you guys want to do the party later, that's fine. But get the piece of paper so that you can combine your money and it's safe for both of you. Like, just talk her and be like, listen, girl, we've been together all this time. Come down to the courthouse with me. Let's get this paper signed. You don't even have to tell anyone. All right? That can be your little secret until this is just to keep you safe under the law of combining your things together. Because if something happens, you want to show that you were legally married.
There's financial and legal protections with marriage.
That's right. So that's
you got some work to do, James.
James, thanks for telling us. He just entered the fire by telling us last minute.
12 years. Listen, get a Costco pizza and a Costco cake, and we'll celebrate later. But
listen, they don't even have to tell anybody. Just go get the DATGUM certificate. Don't tell anyone, and then when you can pretend like, we set a date and we're getting married. Like, nobody knows.
At this point, they forgot. I mean, they're like 12. It's been 12 years. Man.
Everybody
no
around them thinks
hope.
that they're married. Yeah, That's crazy. Listen, if you're listening, I don't care if you've been dating for 8 years or 24 years. If you don't have that piece of paper and something goes wrong, you are not protected. Get married, get the piece of paper so that if something goes awry, the law is on your side to make sure you get your cut. Come on, ladies. This is The Ramsey Show.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Jennifer is going to start off this hour from Houston, Texas. Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
Hey, Dave. Thank you so much for taking my call. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Well, you too. What's up in your world?
I'm trying to figure out, I have a daughter that's 20 years old who is just a huge problem in our house. We've got 3 other kids, and she's just verbally abusive to me. So I need to get her out of the house, and I'm trying to figure out how to do it money-wise. I feel like I should either set her up in an apartment or give her, I told my husband $1,000 to see if she can figure it out. And he's saying, no, we shouldn't do any of it, that she'll just use this and come back anyway. So I was wondering what your thought is.
So is your husband her father?
Not her biological father. We've been married since she was 2. So, I mean, he's
So what
done
kind of man
everything
allows
for
a
her.
20-year-old to be abusive to his wife? Because I got to tell you, if that happened in my house, I'd be laying on the floor looking up. You might talk to your mom that way, but you don't talk to my wife that way.
He has said things to her before, and I guess he's very supportive of whatever I say, and so I guess I try to control the situation all the time. I try to walk on eggshells, make sure not to set her off, and
No, that wasn't what I was talking about. This man is allowing someone to speak abusively to his wife. Why?
well, she doesn't do it in front of him. She usually waits when he's not home.
Well, why would he allow it? Period.
I don't know.
Yeah, I got to tell you, when my kids start that, they're going to find their butt in the gutter.
Okay.
Nobody talks to Sharon Ramsey that way while I'm alive.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't either, because I'm telling you, that's the issue here. You know, because here's what I heard. I heard you're going to give her money, and she's going to come back anyway. Because nobody among you or your husband has the backbone to stand up to this little twerp.
Well, you're right. Yeah.
You need to throw
I'm
her
worried
butt
that
in the street. She needs to learn a lesson or two. But it's a little late. I mean, you waited 20 years to discipline her. So, man, you got a mess. Yeah, I think you give her some money, but you need to have real, give her $1,000. I don't care. It's worth $1,000 not have a conversation like this. So, but get her out of the house and explain to her, and you and your husband need to join hands, lock hands, and say, she's not coming back here ever, except to visit and have dinner, and only then if she cannot be abusive.
Okay.
Period. Okay. I mean, you guys got to unify and stand up to this disaster together. And if you don't do that, nothing you do is going to work. Does that make sense to you?
It does make sense. It's a whole lot harder to do than, when you're saying it, that's the right thing to do. But then when you're doing it, it's because we've tried back in June to try to kick her out, and then it never happened because she promised that she would stop all of this.
No, I don't care what she promises. She's leaving.
Okay.
I don't care what she promises.
And you think it's okay to give her $1,000?
Yeah, it's okay, but it's not okay to do that unless the two of you have established, first and foremost, that no one is going to walk inside the walls of our home and speak to you this way, ever, under any circumstances. It's totally unacceptable.
Okay.
Let me tell you this: if a stranger did that, you'd have them arrested.
Oh, I would. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So why are we putting up with this crap off of somebody that you raised and diapered and fed?
Well, it's guilt because you think, they only are acting this way because you've obviously made them this way in some form somehow.
Well, you've allowed it. In that sense, you've contributed to it. But just the same, that doesn't mean it can't be corrected.
True.
Because, I've got grown children. My youngest is 21. But, there's something you look at your mom and say, the rest of your life as long as daddy's breathing, and that's yes, ma'am.
Right.
That's what you look at her and say.
I don't think my mom that way or anybody I know.
And you know why? She would have knocked you into next week.
Yeah, she would have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why.
You're right.
And love
Right.
and said, I love you. And that's why I'm doing this, because you're not going to grow up and be one of these kinds of people that thinks you can talk to people this way and behave this way. So you guys are enabling the behavior, and it won't matter what you do to get her out until the two of you join hands and love this child enough to make her be respectful of her mom. Period. Because she's not going to come in here and talk to me that way. Nope, not going to happen. We'll have her hauled out of here with some bracelets that connect. You know, there you go. That's how it works. Hey, thanks for the call.
TikTok faces an investigation into its impact on young people's mental health. Coalition of state attorneys from California, Florida. Look at California and Florida getting on the same team. Look at this.
Maybe something good is happening.
The world's coming together. Kentucky, California, and Florida and Kentucky, same page. I'm calling this a win already. And more is investigating TikTok for its potential effect on young people's mental and physical health. Group of AGs is looking to see the way TikTok designs, operates, and markets its platform has a negative effect on children, teens, and young adults' health, according to a press release by the AG of Massachusetts. So a couple of things that I find troubling about TikTok. And again, me ranting about social media is no big news, but this is more personal for me. I have a middle schooler, and he came home and was talking about, what is this TikTok thing? Because, of course, he lives in the 14th century because he lives in our house, and all of his classmates are on TikTok. And
does he just have an abacus he plays with at home? That's what I'm picturing at the Deloney house.
He has a stick and a small stone, and that's pretty much his toys. And I said, what are some things your friends tell you about? And so he gave us the name of somebody on TikTok, a TikTok star. And so my wife and I pull it up. And it was, again, my entire show is about relationships and sexuality and intimacy. I am far from an old-fashioned prude, right? What I saw on that was a very young kid, super provocative, super. It was just highly. It reminded me of my time working with sexually abused kids. It was highly sexually charged up, and it was really young kids doing these dances and whatever. And it wasn't just it's fun, hilarious TikTok dances, which I've seen. I've been a part of those. This is something totally different. And my initial thought was, I don't want my kids exposed to this, and I don't want my kids longing to become the topic of conversation. And I started to ask myself, what is the trajectory here for this product, for TikTok? And I realized that it's different. So, remember Saturday morning cartoons? We had those back in the dinosaur era.
That's the only thing we have in common, age-wise.
Age-wise.
We both had cartoons.
They had these shiny cereals and cool toys and things like that. That they had, whiz bang and lots of shiny moments so that kids would want to buy those. But the whole object of those commercials was to get your kids to tell your parents, that's what I want. They still had to loop back to the parents. And this feels new because what this is doing is going directly after the kids. It's bypassing any sort of wise or mature filter, going directly into the hearts and minds of kids. And that feels different. And I'm happy to see states coming together, states that on the surface don't like each other, are coming together to say, hey, they write here, how TikTok keeps people watching and engaging is somewhat mysterious. They have had to pay millions of dollars in fines. TikTok has already for how they're going after children under the age of 13. As somebody who doesn't consume TikTok regularly, help me out with the redeeming value of this
I
platform.
can help you, John. So, to TikTok's defense, I am a big consumer.
Those words
of
have never been uttered in the history of the English language, by the way.
Here's the thing. A lot of people assume TikTok is a bunch of salacious dance challenges, but what's extra dangerous is how good the algorithm is at learning what you like.
Okay.
And so it doesn't ask you. There's no survey that says, hey, George, are you interested in personal finance and food hacks? It didn't ask me that. It just learned over time the kind of content I was engaging in. So I don't see dance challenges. What I see is a lot of content creators trying to build their followings, trying to sell an online course, whatever, a lot of the Bitcoin bros that are out there trying to teach you on whatever the next coin you should invest in. And so I do see a lot of value in short-form content creation. It's where things are going. It's where we've been heading. We have a shorter attention span than ever. And even the cartoons these days, if you watch them, there's a new scene change every 3 or 4 seconds.
Right.
Because it's just bright garbage and you need to keep your attention by switching scenes, cutting cameras. We are losing our attention span. So that, to me, is one of the most dangerous parts. It's not the salacious dance challenges. It's the fact that I can't focus anymore. I can't even sit through a 2-hour movie because I got to, oh, where's my phone? I got to
can't
check
drive
the
to the
text.
grocery store without trying to text and drive and get emails and make phone calls.
And so to me, the danger is in what short-form content could be doing to our attention spans, to our focus.
And that's
we can't pay attention in conversations anymore.
That's a neurological consequence, right? It's changing how our brain is wired together. So you said you were going to defend TikTok, and I feel like you just joined my team.
I love the content that I see on TikTok. I find it more valuable than some things I see on YouTube.
Okay.
I just watched one yesterday, and it was a girl explaining what's going on with Ukraine and NATO, and she did it in a really funny, kind of almost like she was gossiping to a friend about it.
Mm-hmm.
And she explained it in 60 seconds so concisely and perfectly, and entertained me along the way. So I think there is value in the style of content. There's value in a platform like TikTok, which, like it or not, has done this really well of serving you up content that it thinks you will like and then keeping you engaged.
Gotcha.
So on that side, I mean, that's just smart marketing. That's how the content machine works. It's why we love watching YouTube video after YouTube video, and now it's TikTok.
And so it sounds like the meta lesson then is, no pun intended, is parents have to continue to remain parents. Because asking a 10-year-old or a 14-year-old to look at cooking videos over salacious videos or extra violent content or whatever, you're asking too much of a small kid, right?
Yes, I'm a grown man. It's very
Right.
different for me versus a 13-year-old, especially if you have kids out there. I can't imagine what it's like being a parent and trying to, make sure that you're aware of what your kid is engaging in, what apps that they're downloading. And part of all of the drama with TikTok is that there's no need for parents' permission. Kids can just download this app, make their account, and have free reign over all the content on there.
Yeah. And, man, I trust you. You're smart and you're wise, and you do your due diligence. If somebody said, hey, I've been getting a lot of updates on what's going on overseas via TikTok, I would just shake my head in sadness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So also be careful about what you're getting too.
Well, this is their news platform now.
Yeah.
They're not checking CNN and Fox News anymore. Teens are just going on TikTok.
That's great either, but
and they're just learning from people their age about what's going on. And so take everything with a grain of salt.
Yep.
TikTok is not gospel. It is not the dictionary, so do your due diligence. But it's a fun, entertaining platform. I use it to learn things and to be entertained. But if you've got a kid out there, you've got to be really careful about how this is affecting your teen with comparison culture. And I
both
need to be a
content-wise
TikToker.
and neurologically, right?
Yeah, because it used to be, I want to be a YouTuber, John. That's the new goal of every high schooler. Now it's, I want to be a TikTok influencer, and I want to make content. What's my content going to be? How am I going to hook people in? And they get obsessed with this, with all the likes, all the engagement, all the comments, and all the critics, and every negative comment that comes through. That affects you mentally. That sticks with you.
Especially kids, right?
Dave and I just read mean tweets yesterday. It doesn't affect us like it would a teenager.
Right.
We have thicker skin than I did at 14 years old.
Well, you remember a few things people said to you when you were 14, right?
There's a comment that still sticks with me. When I was 14, I uploaded a YouTube video, and they said it was a me covering Umbrella by Rihanna on acoustic guitar, and they said, "You killed it, ... and not in a good way." And it stuck with me because it was funny, it was creative.
And it hurt.
But there's something about these strangers that are critics on the internet, and we take it personally and go, this is a reflection of my character and who I am. And so you've got to be really careful, not just about what you're posting, what you're engaging in, but what other people are saying that you don't even know.
So, man, I just loop back to two big things. Number one, if you're wondering, can I have a job? Can I have a life if I don't engage in this? I don't, and I seem to be doing okay. And the second thing is, please be highly diligent with your kids. Just handing your kid a device or a box, a digital babysitter, and saying, go get them and make good choices is just a recipe for disaster. The data on children's mental health and their engagement with social media continues to just be jaw-dropping.
I think it's going to be one of the biggest issues for that generation that we've got to grapple with. And parents are the start of it. They've got to have these conversations.
Brought to you by Xander Insurance. Identity theft protection isn't a luxury in today's world. It's a necessity. Get yours at Xander.com.
So I have a question. I am in a very complicated position right now.
thinking about filing Chapter 13 bankruptcy, or take a second loan towards my house. It's a long story, but I'm going to try to make it short. And I apologize if I say anything English incorrect. It's my second language. So I'm married, have kids. We had the whole debt situation. I found you in 2022. We got into doing the plan together. By May of 2024, we debt-free, paid off like $80K. Just owned the house. It was wonderful. So my husband started talking to friends about cryptocurrency. And he started invested, start small, start making money. He made a big move behind my back. He took a big loan of $200,000.
Oh my gosh.
And he invested that money in crypto XRP, Trump coins, and other stuff. He told me after he did it, I panicked. I was in totally panic when he told me that, and that was March of this year. And I thought things couldn't get worse, and it did. He got a phone call. He was expecting a phone call from the company he was making the whole Bitcoin thing. The name of the company was Pionex, Pionex, Pionex. He was doing crypto with this company, and he had over $200,000. He also had $50,000 from his mom that he was investing, so it was like $250,000 total.
How did he find Pionex? How did he find them online?
His friends.
He talked to his friend. I don't know for sure if it was online, but he got
scammed. Is that what you're getting ready to tell me?
He got scammed. Yeah.
So he lost his mother's $50,000.
He lost everything, and we don't even own the $200 that he lost.
Wow.
Yeah, and we can't pay those $200,000.
So where did you bury him?
I'm still digging my backyard.
In his mother's backyard, probably.
That would be
oh my
call.
God! So what is your household income?
About $10K a month.
Okay. And what do you owe on your personal residence?
$400,000.
And what is it worth?
It's like $700.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And what does your husband make a year?
He brings home about $10,000 a month.
And has he owned this, that he was unbelievably deceitful, lying behind your back?
Yeah, that was a big lie.
And never going to do it again because he's stupid?
Yeah, we thought about that. He called me stupid, said that he didn't understand
the only thing stupid you did is marry him.
Wow.
Yeah. He told me he was going to be a millionaire and he's going to make our family a millionaire.
Yeah.
And that I didn't have to worry about it.
Instead, you're calling somebody about filing bankruptcy. So has he owned this so that it doesn't happen again?
He did, Dave. The only reason why I didn't walk away yet is because he told me, crying, he begged me to stay, and he told me that God took this money away.
No, God did not do this. You don't blame God. Don't blame God when you're stupid.
I know, but just the way he's thinking, like God take the money away.
No, that's not a good way of thinking. He needs to own it. I'll tell you what took the money away. He took the money away because he was stupid. He needs to own that or he's going to do it again. If you blame it on God, then what are you going to blame it on next time? The devil?
It's manipulative.
Right. Yeah. He said that, and he told me he was like a punishment for going behind my back. So I was like, if you really think that's a punishment for going behind my back,
how about just being an adult from this point forward?
Yeah,
that'd be just fine. We don't need a punishment. We need a grown-up husband.
He made two mistakes. He took out a loan and then he did it behind your back. Those are
you've already paid off $80,000 when both of your brains were working at the same time. You know how to do this, and so now you pay off $200,000. How did he borrow $200,000? What did he put up as collateral?
we did the plan. We were doing good. He had good credit, I guess. When the house, he has equity in the house.
Did he borrow
And,
against the house?
No, he didn't. He just loaned it like 23 here, 23 there, 147 there, different location, and he ended up with like 193. It wasn't, close to 200.
So these are
And
like credit cards and personal loans?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
The interest is super high, it's like 23%.
Yeah.
And not
Interest is
only
not your
that-
problem. Stupidity is your problem.
I know, but the payment's like $5,000 a month.
You've already paid off $80,000, and you did that in 18 months. So you know how to do this.
Can you, are you, I hate to ask you to do this, but are you working at all?
I'm not right now. I'm waiting for my kids. I'm already making application because my kids going to go back to school. I will as soon as they get back to school. I was working and helping. That's how we get out of debt.
Yeah, we're going to do it again.
But then right now with the 5,000 payments of
You're not bankrupt.
I'm not bankrupt.
No, you're not bankrupt. You make enough money to clean this up. And you can either pay it, you can put it as a second mortgage on your house. I really don't want you to, and then pay it off there. But you're keying off on how big the payments are. You need to be paying $5,000 a month.
It's going to be painful. And
you need to be paying $6,000 a month. That's how you're going to get out of this. $6,000 a month, $72,000 a year.
The hardest part of this entire journey, it's going to be hard to pay off the debt, but every payment, you're going to have to work on how you feel towards your husband and what that means for you guys, because with every payment, the resentment has the ability to grow more and more. And each time you go to your job that you feel you shouldn't be working right now, that resentment has an opportunity to grow. So you guys have to get into some sort of therapy, something to work through this, because things still aren't right. I can tell.
Oh, yeah. Well, they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be.
Oh, my gosh.
We've got massive stupidity, and we blamed it on God. And it's unbelievable. I mean, God's looking at you going, not my deal.
Yeah.
I didn't do this.
Yeah.
The only thing I did is make you. That's the only thing I did. How come every time you're on the air, I get these crypto calls?
I don't know. I was thinking the same thing. This is a problem.
It's a pattern here.
It's a problem.
You're gonna, like George and horses and crypto and Jade.
I guess so.
I don't know, man. This is the Ramsey Show. The best ID theft protection is from Xandr. They not only monitor, they help you get your life back. Go to Xandr.com to learn more.
Roger's up in Denver, Colorado. Roger, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jade. Thank you, George, for taking my call.
Sure. How can we help?
Well, I want to open up an IRA in a brokerage account so I can invest in mutual funds. And I've heard Dave, ask the question, do you want to pay taxes on $1,000 today or $1 million tomorrow? So I'm wanting to find out which one is the best one for the best tax advantages.
It's a great question, Roger.
Least amount of tax.
It's like an old riddle, and there's so many factors that go into this. And of course, we're big fans of the Roth option in general because it's going, you're using after-tax dollars. It's growing tax-free, but you withdraw it tax-free. There's no required minimum distributions, but it also factors in how old you are. So what is your age?
57.
Okay. And how much do you have right now in retirement?
Oh, not much. 30,000.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Do you have any other assets that you would consider part of retirement? A home?
No.
Okay, so you're renting right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been buying. I own a company. I've been buying equipment. So I buying commercial trucks
and what is your income
on the road? And right now it's about $800,000 a year.
Wow.
My goodness. Hey, I have a question. What has kept you from investing up till this point?
Stupidity.
I didn't know if it was debt or,
No, just, at the end of the month, you always wonder, where'd my money go? I don't have a big stereo system. I don't have a big screen TV and all the CDs.
Well, how long have you been making $800K?
Oh, I'm going to say about 4 years.
Roger.
But I just put a big chunk of money into equipment.
Roger, this is a wake-up call, dude. You make
Yes, it
too big of an income. How much debt do you have?
I just bought a truck. It's $120,000 and a trailer for $36,000.
All right. Okay, so I just want to double check because you said you own your own business. The $800K, that's bottom line, right? Like that is pure profit, correct?
That's gross profit. I'm going to say it'd probably be around $200,000.
Okay, that's a whole different story. So $200K is what you're bringing home. That's your net. That's what you're bringing home to buy the bacon, all right? Still an excellent income. But, I think that you got to get your priorities in line. We got to stop creating more debt. We got to stop buying new trucks. You've got to save for retirement. It's creeping up on you. It's peeping and it's creeping. And if you don't make changes, you are not going to be ready. I love that you're calling in here asking about investments, but there's some steps that you need to take first in order to really set yourself up to be ready to go. And we got to eliminate this debt. We need to walk out these baby steps. All right.
Oh, I will. That debt will be gone by the end of this year.
Are you on every dollar? Are you using a budget?
Yes.
Okay, sweet. So you've got a plan to win.
I've got it all planned out. I've got it down to how much money, to the penny, what I make and how much where everything's going.
Good.
I know that by November of this year, everything will be completely paid off.
Okay, so I just want to make sure right now you're just looking towards the future, right? Because the way we teach, we're not investing until we get the debt paid off. And the reason for that is so that you can throw as much money at your debt as possible so you can get it knocked out. So I'm happy that you're doing research now, but I also want to reiterate it's not time for that yet. But let that light a fire under your butt to keep going and get this debt paid off with a vengeance. You got to move.
So Roger, is it just you in this business?
Yes.
Okay. An option you can look into, because here's the thing with the IRA, you are 57, so you are eligible for the catch-up contributions, but that's still only going to be $7,500, which isn't quite enough to retire on. Now, how long do you plan on working for?
Oh.
Do you want to retire someday?
Yes.
Let's start planning for it.
I wanted to retire 10 years ago.
And so part of that is this debt is holding you back from retiring because it's holding you back from investing and stocking away a whole bunch of money. And so my A1 is to get rid of this debt, and I'm questioning if you need this truck. Is there another option? Because I'm guessing this truck is for your business, right?
Well, yeah, it's a semi. I haul refrigerated goods.
Is there another option where you could sell this truck and get a cheaper used one?
No, not at this time.
Okay.
This is a used one.
Okay.
That I'm getting.
So the RA1 is to use that $200,000 income to pay off this $156,000 of debt, which I think you could do in under 2 years. Does that sound reasonable?
By November of this year.
Wow. How are you going to do that?
I have no other debt. I mean,
it's just the truck.
The cost of food.
Okay. So you're going to live on nothing, is what you're saying.
Right.
I love it.
I spend a couple $100 on food.
Are you a renter or do you have a mortgage?
Neither. I don't maintain a house so wherever the truck is, that's home.
You just kind of
living out of the cab?
The truck I just bought is going to be, I'm putting a driver in it.
Okay. So here's another thing to think about, Roger. I want you working with an investing professional who can help guide this whole process over the next several years to show you a plan and say, hey, here's when you're going to be able to retire based on the numbers we're laying out. And they're going to also show you options where you can invest as a person who's self-employed into something like a solo 401k. So that way you have way more options than just that IRA limited to $7,500.
That's right. And a good thing about that solo 401k, George, is that you can do contributions on each side as the employer and then also as the employee. So that's helpful when tax day comes.
Yeah, to catch up because you're obviously behind on the retirement side, but you have a great income. And I just don't want you having to work for another 10 years if you're even able to versus saying, hey, if I can get this income up to $250, $300 and I'm throwing, $100, $200 away, even if it's outside of retirement in a brokerage account, in a savings account, you'll be able to have a retirement with dignity at that point, which is my goal for you.
Yep.
How's that sound?
And now, did you say it was the Roth that it has the best?
So Roth is going to go in with after-tax dollars, grow tax-free. With your age, it may be more beneficial to do the traditional IRA. And so that's another thing to bring up with your SmartVestor Pro. You can reach out to them at RamseySolutions.com. We've got them in your area in Denver. You can click on Ramsey Recommends and get in touch with one of them to walk through all of those options.
And Roger, one more question for you. The way your business is set up, does it require you working to bring in money, or is it something that you'll be able to manage as you get older and have others? Does that make sense? That
Could you
they're
hire
doing
someone and delegate?
Yeah, it'll be something that I can manage because the new truck I just bought, I put a driver in it. It's leased on with a company.
Good.
So basically, they keep that truck moving. I can go sit on the beach and
Good.
If I had 10 trucks,
I just wanted to make sure that you had it. I wanted to make sure you had it set up in such a way that you're not having to do the hard labor as you get on up there in age, and that you can still bring in some money.
And be sure you get rid of this debt and then run that business debt-free, Roger. That is the best path to an earlier retirement for you. We're wishing you the best, man.
Amy is with us in Chicago. Hi, Amy. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
My question is it common for debt that you paid off to come off your credit report, but then return on your credit report the next month? For a little bit of context, we just finished baby step 2 in July. My husband and I paid off $28,000 in student loans in July. It came off of our credit report, and then last week I got an email saying our score has increased by 78 points, and then our loans are listed again.
Okay. No, that's not common. It's so here's the thing: 52% of the credit reports have errors. 36% of them have errors that are so egregious it could keep you from getting credit.
Yeah.
Okay. So this falls in the category of error, obviously. And I think I know how it happened. I'm not 100% sure what to do about it. There's a couple of things you can try. But what happens is that these massive companies, in this case the student loan servicer, they do downloads usually quarterly to the of their database to the credit bureaus. Okay, so what happened was a single item was removed as a single item, and then when they downloaded their latest data, it still had your student loan in it. They hadn't taken it out of that piece of data. So when they did the batch download, you were in the batch again. That's what put it back on there, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Okay. So I would do two things to get it off. Number one, call the idiots. This is the problem with student loan servicers. They're absolute morons. I mean, it's just, you've had to deal with them before, right? I mean, it's like, like, are your parents cousins? I mean, what is wrong with you people? You know, it's just, they can't find their butt with both hands. It's ridiculous how inept they are. So, but there's nothing you can do about it except fight through the bureaucracy. So call them like 62 times, because that's what it'll take, and tell them to get the stupid thing off your credit report again because it's paid off. Would you please note the file is zero balance? Now, please turn that into whoever. Who is it? Experian, or who is it?
Yeah, Experian.
Yeah. And poor Experian, they're dumb as they are, too, because they just take whatever these people send them and load it on there, right? With no thought whatsoever that it might be full of errors by some goob that didn't entering key data that doesn't care. So this is what you're dealing with, just a whole bunch of inept people that don't care. So that's one thing you can do, is call them 2 or 3, 4 times. Maybe they'll take it off again. The other thing you can do is, with any debt on your credit report, you have the right, according to the Consumer Fair Credit Reporting Act, federal law, to dispute in writing any item on your credit bureau report. If they do not repair the error within 60 days, you have the right to require them to completely remove it, the whole item, as if it never existed. Okay? And so what I would do is just dispute this item, send it to Experian, return receipt requested, so you have, or FedEx, so you have a date of delivery, proof when the 60 days started. Okay, you have 60 days from this date to prove the accuracy of this item. It is inaccurate. It should be a zero balance. If you have not corrected it within 60 days, you will be forced to remove it. I will force you according to the Federal Fair Credit Reporting Act. Write that down. Federal Fair Credit Reporting Act. So any of you that have an error on your credit report, that's how you get the error fixed. Now here's what normally happens in the real world, not the land of law and a theory. In the real world, when you do that, almost never, so Experian will send it out to the loan servicer, Navient, or whoever it is then, right? You know, the loan servicer is almost always too incompetent to respond within 60 days. So Experian will hear nothing back from them to correct the error within 60 days. And so then you'll go back and go, you haven't heard anything. Take it off. Now, the problem with that is the next time they download a batch next quarter, it may show up again.
Yeah.
That's possible. Okay? And so I probably am going to go ahead and do both. I'd fire off the letter, Federal Fair Credit Reporting Act, get the 60 days started, and in the meantime, I'd start calling Navient or Sally Mae or whoever the flip this is and just wearing them out.
Nelnet is our new carrier now. So
It's who?
Nelnet.
Oh, yeah, great.
Yeah.
It's still not any better. But, I mean,
Nope.
Have you called them yet
No,
by
we're not
chance?
really
Have you already
worried about
called
our
them?
credit, but
Did you already call them?
I called and they say it's zero on their end, so they're not sure why it shows up like that. Is what they tell me.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'm sure of. You reported it to them wrong. That's what I would tell them. So you guys need to call you need to send a note over there and tell them to take it off, like now, or I'm gonna file suit on you people. And by the way, ma'am, what was your name? I'm gonna just I want to get the person on the other end's name because I'm gonna name you in the lawsuit. So you need to get off your assets and get this fixed. Right? Jack them up.
Exactly.
Jack them up because they deserve it. And I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be mean until they just persist in their, belligerent incompetence. And then we can turn it up. We can make a hobby out of you people, And that's what I would do. Because you need to get this off of there. And the problem is, if you were dealing with normal human beings, you just call up and they go, "Oh, my bad. I'll call and get it off." Okay. But we're not dealing with normal human beings. You're dealing with student loan servicers and credit bureaus. And it's just it's like dumb meets dumber, And it's just, God, what an aggravating industry. It's just, let me help you guys with this life hack, okay? Some of you are going, "Oh, I've got bad credit on there. I could lie and write it and dispute it. They'll probably never correct it, so I can make them take the whole thing off." Well, that may work, but it'll be temporary until they download next quarter's batch of data, and then you'll be right back on there. So you've wasted all your time. So you've got to go to the root and dig out the dandelion. Otherwise, it's going to keep showing up on stinking Experian, TransUnion, whoever you're dealing with over here. So you got to get the thing dug out by the root. And the root, in this case, lives over at the student loan servicer. God help us. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
My husband lost his job 3 years ago. And I had an accident. So we started at $10,000 a month. We are down to $2,400 a month. I have sold everything. I own nothing. I don't even own a car no more. We live in a house. My husband farms now with his dad. And his dad's like 83 years old, and so he feels like 24 is, wow, that's a lot of money, And we are very thankful for that. Don't get me wrong. We are so thankful for what God has given us. We have a house that we live in because John farms the ground. We get it free. So God is definitely providing. However, I'm out of savings. I'm out of money completely. I'm barely making my bills. I had an accident There was an accident 3 years ago. I've had 8 surgeries.
Oh my! Like an automobile accident?
No, I don't want to go there. Let's not go there. But I don't know what to do. I can barely make my bills.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, they want me to. There's your
What
book.
bills? What bills do you have?
Utilities, internet for school.
How many children do you have?
Water, propane. 1,
What age?
11.
Okay. All right.
And I homeschool.
What was your husband
and
doing
so-
before he lost his job?
He was working for a power company. He was making really good money.
What's really good money?
We were bringing home $10,000 a month.
He was?
No, he was bringing like 6.
Okay. And you were
6
making
to
4.
7, somewhere in there.
And you're unable to work now because of the accident?
And now I don't even have a car to even make it to work.
No, that wasn't what I was asking. Are you physically unable to work because of the accident?
No. What I did previously, yes, because my body, I don't have the grip in my hands no more. My leg, my whole right side basically they've tried to reconfigure it or fix it. And I can walk.
Okay, if your
and I
husband
move my
can make
arms and stuff.
$6,000 a month at the power company before, why could he not do something like that again? That's 3 times more than he's making now.
He's always, before he went to the power company, he farmed. And then he went into the power company. Well, he didn't ever want to go into the power company. But his ex-wife made him, I guess, or she wanted more money. So
I
he
don't think
spent
she's
18
evil. You
years
called
there.
me with the same request.
Right.
So he wants to
No,
farm.
I don't.
He's always wanted to farm.
He wants to farm.
And it's his daddy's farm, and it's the daddy connection.
Mhm.
There's a couple things going on
Yep.
here. Does your husband think that your father-in-law should be paying him more, or is he hunky dory with what he's getting paid?
Well, he's not going to go to his dad and ask for more. I had to write a letter to his dad and point it all out. And then he gave him a little bit of a raise. But
Yeah, your husband needs to step up right now and step up in a big way.
right?
Yeah, so here's the thing. The language you're using tells us that.
Yep.
I can't make my bills, which means your husband is not involved in this at all, which is wrong. Okay, so you need to sit down with him tonight at the kitchen table and say, I cannot be the only adult in this house anymore. I need some help. Bubba, you about to help me. You don't have an option.
Yeah.
You're going to help me figure this out because I can't make this math work, and you don't want to do anything about the income side of the equation, so you show me where the magic's going to happen because I can't figure this out. I'm not carrying the stress and the pain of this anymore all by myself while you go out there and play farmer and act like everything's okay because it ain't okay, Bubba. You need to have that talk tonight with the television off and the kid in the bed. This is very serious. Because this is not going to last. This is how he got an ex-wife the last time. Is he did not attend to the needs of his household.
Well, I don't know about that. And
I
that's
do.
The past, and
I do. I've been talking to you for 5 minutes, and I believe it.
That's exactly right.
He's not a bad man. He's just absent emotionally and financially. He works hard during the
I
day,
agree with
comes
that.
home and does nothing at night.
Yeah.
Well,
I agree with that.
okay. He's a good, hard-working man. He's an honest man.
Yes.
But he
Yes.
does not understand. And let me just tell you, guys, I'm one of them. We're pretty thick. You got to explain it to us.
I don't know.
Tonight is
Well,
tonight is going to be the explaining. You got to use a verbal 2-by-4 and hit him in the face. This is stopping tonight, Bubba. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. The surgeries and the stress of the finances, being the only person in this household making adult decisions, is over. You're going to have to sit down and look at these numbers with me and decide with me.
I've already given him that. I've given him. I took my name
No,
off the
you
bank account.
didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you
yes,
didn't.
I did.
I don't believe
Yes,
you.
I did. I took it. Well, I did. I took it off the bank account. I do not. I told him I wanted no more to do with the bills because mentally I cannot handle it.
What was his response?
But I'm the one that pick up the mail.
What was his response?
What?
I'm going to choose
Okay,
to
I'll take
believe
care of
you.
it.
Dave doesn't. I'm going to believe you for the moment. What was his response when you laid it out that way?
He was upset, but
Nothing
and he
changed.
asked me. He goes, "Well, how do I pay this bill online?" Well, I went and I showed him, and I said, "But it's this amount. Don't ask me
That's
how you're
not
going to
what
pay
I'm
it."
talking about.
He's talking about money. You got to make more money.
I'm talking about the two of you sitting down and adding up what it is coming in every month and what's going out every month, and both of you looking at it. Just get a yellow pad out and write it all down. Here's what it costs.
Last night we did with a friend.
With him?
With him.
Your husband?
With him. Yeah.
And what did he say then?
Well, we have like $5 left over, so he's just not.
Yeah, he's detached from reality. That's the bottom line. Dave nailed it. This is a guy who's playing farmer, and it's a fun role for him. Yes, he's working hard, but I will say you got to work too. You said earlier that you felt like you could still do something. It's time for you to do something too.
Yeah.
You can't do what you did before, but maybe you're going to have to model the way. And I'll be honest with you, sister, I'm not sure that your relationship's got a lot of hope if he doesn't wake up to this. I'm serious. You got to get self-sufficient.
I think the two of you need to sit down and get some help with your marriage to where you start working together, because you're not. And there's like, I'm going to make him do this. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about we need to agree that we're going to carry the weight of this together. Last night we sat down and went through all this together. The next day you call me on the radio crying.
Yep.
So last night didn't do any good.
Mm-mm.
So you didn't get there yet. You got more work to do. So the two of you have to sit down together, lay out a game plan, and then there's a wake-up call that says, I'm going to have to get a job, you're going to have to get a different job, or you're going to have to talk to your daddy about a raise because this is not going to work anymore. These numbers don't add up, and it's freaking me out, and I'm not going to live my life in terror. And I'm not going to take responsibility for something that you won't participate in. We're going to do this together, two grown adults. I'm not your mama, I'm your wife. And, so that's what's going on. So you don't need to write a letter to his father. You live in his house. Walk yourself up into the living room and go, hey, me and the kid over here, we're hungry. We can't pay the bill because you don't pay your son nothing because you're living in 1950 on your wage rates. And so we got to do some changing here, Pops, or we're going back to the power company like the last wife did. This is how this works. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Several pieces of research out there that talk about that married people who are married versus single or versus shacking up, have a financial advantage. And the researchers have always called it the marriage advantage, that they tend to build more wealth than any other category. And also tend to move as a category, it's a generalization, but I mean, in other words, there's exceptions within each category, but they also tend to move faster in their incomes and their careers. And researchers have long tried to figure out what is causing that exactly, but they call it the marriage advantage, that it's to your advantage statistically, as far as wealth goes, income and wealth in general, to be married. Wall Street Journal comes out today with yet another study. Moving in together doesn't match the financial benefits of marriage, but why? A walk down the aisle can be a route to greater wealth and prosperity for couples in the U.S. Married people have higher net worths and are more likely to be homeowners than their unmarried counterparts their age. As of 2019, the median net worth for cohabitating shacking up couples age 25 to 34 was $17,000, a quarter of that of $68,000 that married couples of exactly the same age range. So 25% the net worth of a married couple on average. According to data from the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, for singles is $7,300. Over the past 2 decades, Americans are moving in together at higher rates, and the share of U.S. adults who are currently married steadily declined from close to 60% in the 90s to under half in 2019, according to Pew, who did the research. Over the same period, the share of adults 18 to 44 living with a partner climbed to 59%. Many young couples now approach marriage as a capstone event. The sociology professor says, if you build an ark, the kind of cornerstone, blah, 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 blah. While there are legal and tax advantages to marriage, research suggests the financial security and long-term mindset of those who tie the knot may also be a powerful driver of wealth. More married couples pool their money, such as sharing savings accounts and investing together to achieve certain goals. Cohabitating couples are less likely to combine finances and investments. Working with 2 incomes and combining their investments to maximize compound interest can significantly increase a couple's financial prospects, the research shows. Simply put, married people may be more likely to be on the same page financially. And housing is one of the biggest factors in establishing a couple's wealth compared with single people and cohabitating couples. Married couples hold a larger concentration of housing wealth. They're more likely to own a home if you're married than you are if you're with a roommate. Socioeconomic factors play a role in the difference between married and partner wealth. The higher your income, the likelier it is you'll marry. Well, that would affect these numbers. And, that'd be a cause and effect issue right there. Which one's causation and which one's correlation at that point. But this is fresh data in showing the advantages of marriage.
And I think the couple that just did the debt-free scream, they're a perfect example of this data and how it can be effective. I mean, in their story, they're talking about how they got on the same page. They set goals. They set a why, and they really learned to work together. I think a lot of people who are just cohabitating, they're not having those conversations. They're not getting into, shared goals and a shared mindset of really attacking their finances.
Well, what we do know, and this is fairly easy to extrapolate into this conversation with reasonable certainty, is that there is a direct correlation between the length of your planning window, how far out into the future you look with money, and how much money you have. If you think, thank God it's Friday, oh God it's Monday, and you live for the weekend, you're Huey Lewis in the News, right? Then you're going to be broke your whole life, YOLO, right? That's where you're going to be. You're not going to have any money because you don't plan past Friday night. You're just trying to drink your face off on the weekend and forget it, and you're not planning. But when we interview wealthy people, the wealthier they are, the longer their planning window has been for many years, and that's what caused them to be wealthy. In other words, when they get ready to buy a car, they don't think about this weekend, they don't think about this year, they think about 5 years from now, how's this car purchase going to affect me? And when you think longer term, you automatically will invest more because you're thinking long term. You're believing there is a future, and I know my future self needs to like my current self, but future self doesn't talk to a present self with the broker somebody is, and the more likely they are to be broke. So if you want to go from broke to wealthy, the point is change your planning window mindset. Quit living for the weekend and start thinking, okay, in 50 years, where do I want to be? I want to change my family tree. How about in 150 years? What do I want my great-grandkids to be? Let's look at compound interest out 150 years and play with some numbers. That will blow your freaking mind, by the way, how many hundreds of millions of dollars that can become. You can be old man Rockefeller, old man Vanderbilt, old lady Vanderbilt, whatever, get this thing started. So that planning window thing comes in there. So that comes into, then, this discussion of marriage. As if you're married, unless you are planning to divorce right now, you are thinking you're going to do life 50 years from now with this person.
Right, yeah.
And when you're cohabitating, you're thinking, maybe. Maybe.
There's a chance there's
It's not exactly sure. And it shortens your planning window when you're shacked instead of married. And so that's one of the things that I've always thought it gives you the marriage advantage, because very few cohabitating couples think, what's life going to be like in 40 years?
Right. Well, I think it's interesting. This article says that a lot of people see it as a cornerstone event. So what this means is that people see an economic bar they need to clear before they get married. Couples wait until they have good jobs, a car that won't break down, maybe even a house, then they get married, which I think is interesting because it's like they're trying to do something in order to get themselves ahead.
It'd be a lot easier
right.
if they were married.
But they're actually holding themselves back.
Yeah. Yep.
That's interesting that the data shows that.
Yep.
So if you're in that boat and you're feeling, hesitant to get married because you feel like you have to meet a certain barometer, you need to have a certain amount of your debt paid off, you feel like you need to have a better job or a house, that actually could be working against you. If you actually find the right partner, if you find someone that you want to be with for the rest of your life, getting married actually could set you on way better footing financially.
And it is not smart to combine your accounts with somebody you're not married to.
Totally.
And there is all kinds of data, including this data here, that says combined accounts have a tendency towards more wealth. Again, it's a unified look at the future. It's a fairly simple concept. If you're not thinking about the future, you're not going to have one.
Right.
If you're not intentional about the future, you're not going to have one. And, I don't care if you're 26 or you're 36, you're shacking up. You're not talking about changing my family tree. That doesn't come up. Otherwise, you would have already gone dun, 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 dun. If you want to change your family tree, you need to have a family to change the tree. I mean, there's not even a tree, not even a family. So, I mean, you're not thinking that way. The inherent in the socioeconomic and the psychology of living together versus marriage is short-term thinking versus long-term thinking. And that will always limit your wealth. So, these guys that call us up here and they go, well, we've been engaged for 10 years. And I'm like, dude, painter, get off the ladder. Really? And they do call us and tell us that. And I've had a few calls over the years that they've been separated but not divorced for 7 years. Oh. And I'm like, why? Well, I don't want to get divorced. Well, you are divorced. You just hadn't admitted it yet. Oh my gosh.
That is not a good long-term strategy.
Yeah, so you have, where there is no vision, the people perish. If you think long-term, and you think long-term with your partner, called marriage, you have a much higher statistical probability of building wealth. And therefore, if you don't do that on purpose, then you have no right to whine about having not built wealth. It's not anybody's fault but yours. Ding, ding. The marriage advantage.
Here's an article, John, from Fox Business. Buy now, pay later, expanding to storefronts and gas pumps. That's right. So buy now, pay later has become increasingly popular in recent years, expected to reach $680 billion in transaction volume across the world by 2025. And as COVID has forced many consumers to shop online more, the use of buy now, pay later obviously began to rise.
So let's pay for let's pay next month for last month's trip.
That's what we're seeing. Buy now, pay later provider Zip, formerly QuadPay, has a partnership with Chevron, allowing drivers to pay for their gas in 4 installment payments over a 6-week span. Wow. This is scary, John.
Yeah, because you're still driving all those other times.
You're paying for gas that happened 3 weeks ago, but you filled up twice since then, and so you're paying for gas 2 weeks ago and a week ago, all to kick the can down the road.
We're going to build QuadPay some huge, shiny new buildings.
Yep.
And their executives are going to be driving a bunch of fancy new Teslas because we found ourselves in this mess.
And Klarna and Affirm and Afterpay, I mean, the list of companies just keeps on growing, people who are getting in on this. And what's hilarious, John, not so hilarious, not so fun fact, another article from Fox Business says this: more than a quarter of consumers can't afford their buy now, pay later payments.
Of course not.
That's right.
It's not magic.
Debt Hammer survey found that 30% of respondents have struggled to make their buy now, pay later payments and have therefore had to skip paying a bill for essentials, utilities, rent, mortgage, car, to avoid defaulting. This is bad. If you can't pay for your 4 walls, but you're paying QuadPay for your gas, you have a huge problem. And here's what I found, John. Klarna brags on their website. This is hilarious. They brag to the retailers that consumers spend 45% more when you include a buy now, pay later service on your website.
That's right.
When under that $40 add to cart, it says 10 easy payments.
Right.
4 easy payments of $10 to pay for that $40 item.
It's a more subversive
predatory practice for people who are really desperate and struggling. And it's stealing from the least of these in our communities. And it's taking capital out of low-income communities. It's taking the hard – I mean, these people are working themselves to death in these hourly wage jobs. And these type of companies, they're like payday lenders, except now it's much more sophisticated and it's fancy. And you don't have to have the shame of driving into a payday lender place and walk in with your head held low and sign away. You just got to push the button.
When you mix all this debt with convenient payment methods and effortless, I mean, that's literally Apple Pay's tagline, cashless made effortless.
Yeah.
They want it to be effortless.
Think less about what you're doing.
Feel it less.
Yes. It makes me ill because this is one of those things that is just preying on folks who are hurting right now. And I hate it, hate it, hate it. I hate it. And it doesn't. Hey, there's the thing. None of us do. We don't have magic solutions for the gas pump. We don't have magic solutions for inflation right now. I mean, that ship's out of the harbor right now. There's a couple of you got to earn more or spend less or have some people in your life that are generous that can. Right. There's some hard decisions we all got to make.
Yeah.
But this is predatory.
But paying quad pay before your light bill. That's not okay.
Don't do that.
Find margin in your budget. I don't care what it takes. Stay away from these predatory lenders. Even though they're shiny and they tell you that they want to create financial freedom, quote unquote, for everyone, that's what they're using. They're using language like we would use.
Right.
Create breathing room in your budget.
If you are a person of means, if you're not a person stuck on the margins who's struggling, refuse to use these services. Because they're making their money on the backs of people who are broke and who are hurting and who are left aside. Don't support this crap. I'm not going to get it pisses me off, man, because it's those like I can go do this and I'll pay the bill next month and I'll go, wow, that was expensive, and I'll pay the bill the month after that. They're not going to make any money off me. They're going to make money off those who can't. So let's don't support this thing and it will implode on itself. And I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
These younger generations are the ones falling for it, and they see it like, well, it's better than a credit card.
Yeah.
Buy now, pay later. It's better than a credit card. I mean, I'm making my payments.
It's a more predatory credit card, I think.
Yeah.
Golly. Dude.
Don't do it, people. Avoid buy now, pay later at all costs.
And hey, let me say this. If your company is based on stealing from hurting people, stop. 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 That's it.
I hope that worked. I hope Afterpay goes, hey, John, we heard you on the Ramsey show.
Didn't.
We're shutting it down.
And not their seniors, because they're tied in. Somebody riding to work is going to get a clip, and they're going to know what they're doing is wrong.
Yeah.
They're going to know what they're doing is wrong. And they're going to say, hey, at least I can't be a part of this. Right?
Yeah. Go check out the fine print episode on Buy Now, Pay Later that we did. It was eye-opening. We shared some stories. We talked to experts. Go check it out. It's called Affirm Klarna Afterpay. Should you buy now, pay later?
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Hey, Amberly, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, my husband and I have made a series of really bad financial mistakes, and we were just wondering if we should sell our house this year or next year.
What kind of mistakes?
We were house poor. We bought a duplex that it's overwhelming. We pay about $3,000 a month, and we only make about $60,000 gross a year.
So why would you wait a year? You're drowning.
I know we are.
What is it you're waiting on?
I'm the main person who does the budget, and I for some reason it seems like we do somewhat make a little bit more money by staying here, but I feel like it's wrong. Like I feel like it would be better if we can move.
I'm confused. It feels like you make more money. Math is not a feeling. Do you make more money or not?
Well, we make $60,000 gross, and then we also get $2,500 a month from the other side. And so, I don't know. I know we probably should, and we're.
Do you not like being a landlord, Amberly?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
So let's sell it.
Yeah, be honest about the problem. I can hear it's just this thing's a brick around your neck.
Yeah.
Your sanity's not worth
It
it.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a stupid house.
It is. And we found out that our tenant has been running the water 24/7. And so, sorry, I'm just, it's a little overwhelming being on the air. Sorry.
It's okay.
You're good.
We've never lost a patient. You're okay.
Yeah. And I want to, and we're in this market where I know that we could technically, this house would appreciate, but
Doesn't matter.
I do want to get rid
It doesn't
of it.
matter. It's not fun.
No.
Everything in this conversation says you're not having fun.
No.
This house has not been a blessing. It's been a curse.
Yeah.
And
It
TikTok
has
told
been.
you that the way to wealth is to buy a duplex, rent the other side, don't pay your mortgage, and you're going to...
And now it's not fun.
And now it's not fun.
You found out TikTok was wrong. Oh, there's a shock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, should we put it on the market like next month, or we're
By
in the middle of
Friday.
the
Yeah,
season.
Friday.
Friday.
Friday sounds good.
Okay.
I'm not kidding.
Okay.
I'm not kidding.
Okay.
If I have something I own that I hate as bad as you hate this, even if I made a mistake and I'm ashamed to admit the mistake, I'm still going to admit the mistake. I want to kill it as soon as I can kill it. I want it in my rearview mirror as a distant memory of dumb things I've done. Otherwise, every time you drive up the driveway, you're going, I don't feel really good about me.
Yeah.
And you can't be the wife you want to be. You can't be the mom you want to be. You can't be the employee you want to be. It affects every square inch of your life.
You're not having fun. We can hear it. And it's not just you're scared to be on the air. It's your whole situation, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you had a house
Yeah.
payment you could afford, you could breathe again. You're having trouble getting a full lung full of air right now.
Yeah. It's overwhelming. I'm scared.
Yeah. We can hear it. And it's not being mean to you. I've been exactly where you are. That's how I can identify it. I smell it. I know what it feels like. And the thing is that the faster you act on this, the quicker you're going to get peace.
Yeah.
And peace is really our goal here. You got plenty of time to buy a different house, plenty of time to make different real estate decisions, sell this thing, and go rent an apartment or something for 6 months and breathe a little bit. And then slow down and make a better real estate decision the next time you move into real estate. You can do this.
Okay.
So go to RamseySolutions.com and click on Real Estate ELPs for Ramsey Trusted Real Estate Agents, people we trust that we have vetted, and they'll help you get the thing on the market and help you get it sold ASAP. That's what I would do if I were in your shoes. I like real estate, but I hate real estate. Isn't that interesting? Because I see what it does to people when you do it wrong, including me. It leaves a mark. It's not fun. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.